Am I the a-hole for rolling my eyes at my boyfriend's proposal because it took 25 years of me begging? This is OKOP, home to the craziest true stories on earth. I'm Sophia and Riley. Would you beg for 25 years?
It's a big decision.
Yeah, it's
so,
you have to
yes.
take 25 years to figure it out. Also, apologies. I'm sick. So, throwaway proposal Finn says, yesterday after dinner, my 52 female boyfriend of 30 years, 53 male, proposed to me. Oh my God.
30 years?
Oh my, yeah, that's so.
What?
Also, based on the title, it seems that OP only started asking after 5 years.
Interesting.
Because it was 25 years of me begging.
Yes.
Yeah.
But 30 years?
That's so.
Y'all
come
already
on.
married.
You're married. You're married in the eyes of the law.
Yep.
He just walked towards me holding a box and said to open it. It was a ring, and I had pictured this moment a million different times, but never thought I'd be so apathetic. My boyfriend then said that he was retired now and wants to kick back and enjoy life with me and would love to do it all with me as his wife.
What were you doing with your life before?
Yeah. What was it before this? Oh my
They
goodness.
were together for 30. What?
He's like situationship to a whole new level. Like they're in a relationship, but this is like marriage situationship. A nice speech and all, but from the 5-year mark of our relationship onwards, I had been making clear my deep desire to marry and was consistently dismissed, given empty promises, and gaslit.
Why are you with him then?
Yeah, you should have left. Honestly, after like the 6-year mark.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
Because like, let's see, they've been together for 30 years. They met at 22 and 23. 5 years after that, 27. It's usually when people get married.
Yeah. But he was like, no, I won't.
Yikes.
We had been through the gamut with therapy, and one counselor implied that me telling him we needed to go to therapy and getting his butt on the couch still means nothing if his mind has been made up. I was in denial about the fact he was just giving me the false illusion of progress to stall. My boyfriend and I have 4 kids. They have 4 kids and he wouldn't marry her? The oldest 3 are adults, while the youngest is 15 female, was sleeping over elsewhere when this all went down. All of our kids went to a private school filled with typical Southern soccer parents. I had to endure PTA
Wait,
moms.
What's a typical...
I don't know.
That's
typical
a thing?
Southern soccer parents. I guess so. You're from the South.
I am from the South. I never like looked at soccer parents and were like, oh, that's typical.
Typical Southern soccer parents.
Wow. Okay.
I had to endure PTA moms' jabs about me not sharing a last name with my kids. Preteen years were hell because the other kids would taunt my kids by saying, your dad would rather sin and go to hell than marry your mom. That's so rough. That sucks for these kids. My boyfriend's mom would tell him marriage would be selfish on my part. It is just a piece of paper. Oh, so the boyfriend's mom is like, don't marry her. It's stupid. It means nothing.
Time out. Getting married, you know how much you save on your taxes?
Yeah.
A ton.
A ton. I don't think you have to get married, but just the fact that she so obviously wanted to get married.
Yeah.
Like
He's
they
very
needed to end
apprehensive
that.
about
Yeah,
it.
they needed to end that relationship.
Apprehensive about it for like 25 years.
25 years. What are you doing with your life? My boyfriend ended up rising up the ranks until he became an executive. I was a stay-at-home mom, so I felt like there was always a power imbalance, exasperated by the fact I could be tossed at any time. I partly did stay because I wanted my kids to have the best life, and because I felt lucky and proud to be partnered with such an intelligent, successful man, but also because I loved him. These past few years, my boyfriend's career has taken a downturn. He'll never be poor, but the company he was part of took a nosedive during 2020, and he had made enemies out of associates and board members.
Whoa.
Because of COVID, I'm presuming.
Oh, because of the thing.
Because of the icky thing.
You.
He decided to step back from his role and take the generous severance agreed upon. Now he's living off investments and wants to relax. I didn't like how his career ended and how he treated people, and had been deciding whether I wanted to leave and find someone else after a youngest turns 18.
So
even before the proposal?
So they got a kid at 18 or
Yeah.
turning 18
Yes.
relatively soon.
Well, they have a 15-year-old, so
Okay, 15-year-old, their boyfriend, girlfriend for 25 years. Basically, in a way,
30, yeah.
married. But like
Yeah.
this reaction, this seems like a big thing. And he seemed like he didn't really handle his career well.
Yeah.
I'm just confused. Like, why is she still with him?
I don't get it. And also I think it is a little bit like, I guess because she's been with him so long and they have kids that she's like more apprehensive of leaving. But I think it's a little bit, I don't know, not strange, but like interesting that even before the proposal, she was like, I want to leave, but I'm going to wait at least 3 years to do so.
Yeah.
So the proposal was a shock because I should hope that he noticed I have avoided conversations about the future as of late. He rattles on about downsizing our house so we can travel and also cutting back on other expenses. But we're not married, so it's all his money/house anyway. He did notice my eye roll and was offended. He asked, what's wrong? And I said that suddenly now that he's downsizing, I'm good enough to marry. He got mad and said that now that he's downsizing and no longer an executive, I suddenly think our relationship is disrespectful and started implying I was a gold digger. I was so angry, I walked out and said I might just go out looking for a respectful relationship because I don't know what respect is anymore. Am I the a-hole? And there are some relevant comments. I can see, like, I think he's still in the wrong for, literally waiting 30 years. Like, I can kind of see both sides.
Okay. What's his side?
On his side, he's, like, well, you stayed in the relationship for 30 years and you were fine with it. And just when my job downsizes, that's when you want to leave. But on her end, she's realizing that he took 30 years and she's like, I don't deserve that disrespect. And just realizing that now.
Yeah. Because his attitude towards leaving his job was, now I can relax. Now I can settle down.
Which is like,
at
not
53?
fair. Like, come on.
You settled down at like, I don't know, younger age.
Yeah. I just don't understand why like he was so apprehensive of getting married. Because you already basically married. It's just a piece of paper and it would have made your wife happy. But it seems like everything has to be on his agenda. Which yeah, maybe I'm leaning more towards OP. But yeah.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't seem like he's taking into her feelings into account.
I definitely can see like more things are gonna arise, like, oh, he did this in the beginning or he did this later in the relationship.
He made me think that it was gonna,
yeah, because he does seem like a very, in a way, selfish. This is a selfish 30 years that he took to himself.
Very selfish.
Yeah, or 25 years.
Yeah. Relevant comments. Comfortable Policy 70 says, you're the a-hole. Why did you beg for 25 years instead of proposing yourself after 1 year? And Opie said, he said that if I try to strong arm him into marriage, whether by changing my last name after our kids were born or any proposal stunts, he'd be tempted to rethink this relationship.
Whoa.
Take it back. Anything. I wasn't really on his side. I was just trying to like see both sides.
Yeah.
But I'm fully not on his side. That's not cool.
Is he just someone that doesn't want to get married?
I guess, but he does want to get married.
But why didn't he marry her earlier? Was she not the right person for him? Because if that's the case, why did he stay with her for that long?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's weird that like, I think it's weird that he's so adamant about not getting married, but he'll have kids and he'll do everything else. And again, like if you don't like, if a couple decides together that they don't want to get married, like that makes sense. But like, it just seems like they shouldn't have stayed together.
Mm-hmm.
And then Delicious Mud 7291 says, if you were begging for him to propose, why did you stay for 25 years? OP says, because I was a stay-at-home mom of many kids and he was this big executive, so I felt if I offended him in any way, he'd use his influence to screw me in a custody battle or otherwise make my life miserable.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, she feels like she doesn't have any power, so she's just staying in this relationship.
That's crazy. I forgot about the stay-at-home mom part. Like that's a marriage.
That's a marriage.
That's a body. That's a marriage.
What?
You know how like it's like that's a body?
No.
The trend? Oh, I don't know very well, but it's like he gave you a drink. That's a body. He opened the door for you. That's a body.
Hoshi Jones says he called you a gold digger. You've been with him for a quarter century without ownership in anything, and he called you a gold digger? Everyone sucks here. Him for not committing to you but having 4 kids with you, and you for staying with him and having 4 kids with him. Marry him at least so you get equity in your home. He should have put your name on the deed. OP says yes, because if I were a gold digger, I would have smiled and said yes with intent to divorce him. Instead, I said no, but he's just mad about the eye roll. That's true.
Wait, did she say 4 kids earlier?
Yeah.
Why did that not click with me?
You were probably thinking because they have the 15-year-old who's about to turn 18, but all the other kids are out of the home.
What? That's
They're
a body.
all grown up.
That's 4 marriages. That's 4 marriges right there.
That's 4 marriages. You're married.
You're married.
I think I'm kind of understand the comments because it's like, why did you stay so long? I just agree with these comments. The gold digger comment and like she's stayed with you, taking care of your kids.
Yeah, but okay, before we get into the update, here's my question. How much longer would she have waited if he didn't say anything or even try to propose?
Well, it seems like she was thinking about it even before the proposal. Like she was saying like, oh, once my kid turns 18, I'm going to think about leaving. Gotcha. So she was already considering this.
Okay.
But there is an update. At the time of my original post, my boyfriend and I had not spoken since the engagement fight. I've been with him long enough to know that when he goes and closes the bedroom door before I get in, that's a signal that I should sleep in one of the guest rooms. So I did that. However, this morning I broke the ice. I told him about how dismissed I felt over the years. I also said that we're both in our 50s and these last few years have taught us that people at work who kiss the ground you walk on one day can easily turn on you the next. And true partners in life are valuable and hard to find. So I wished he'd treat me like I'm valued. Instead, he treats me like he thinks prettier, better, and just as loving is always around the corner. I apologized for the eye roll, but told him that if he wants marriage, I want a quick, committed timeline and genuine happiness from him to be marrying me. I don't need a big party. He listened to me and finally asked if this was about the money/security. He told me that being an executive's girlfriend required things of me, but if I wanted to work, I could have. He said he doesn't think I'm grateful enough for the position in society I was in due to his career.
Time out.
She was a stay-at-home mom. She was taking care of the kids.
Like
4 kids.
That the fact that you were able to provide for her, but she was also providing on her half with the kids.
Like being a stay-at-home mom is a full-time job too.
It's really tough that she's more on the emotional side of like, I want you to want this, I want you to love me, respect me, and he's more on like the what am I getting out of
money?
this?
Yeah,
like
it
money,
seems like it.
I guess now someone to relax with.
Yeah,
since he's not going to be doing anything else with his time.
No, and even just like the comment of like, oh well, being an executive's girlfriend has like a part to play or a role or something that it just feels very
He's very materialistic while she's more on like the.
She's like, I just wanted a relationship. And he's like, oh, well, you just want my money, which is clearly, I don't think that is what it is.
You.
Yeah.
You.
And then he continues, he's not mad about the eye roll. He said he didn't succeed by being that sensitive. He went on to say I was not his prisoner, so I can leave at any time. But to remember, he won't tolerate being made my prisoner either via manipulation. What?
All right. Cool. She just wants to be loved, buddy.
She literally just wants love.
She just wants someone to call hubby.
I don't understand. He said that for what it's worth, the engagement ring is mine and I could do whatever I wanted with it. He will also not be accused of not providing for his daughter, so be assured he won't shirk child support. But that he felt what I said before was emotional blackmail. What? Wait, her being like honestly communicating that she felt dismissed was emotional blackmail?
Oh, he just felt guilty about something.
Yeah,
he felt like he did something wrong.
Yeah. He's like, you made me feel bad. That's emotional blackmail. So he no longer wants to go forward with marrying, but says if I'd like to travel with him, that's fine. Him traveling is non-negotiable, and so if I wanted to get a job, it would have to be a remote job. It was a sad conversation, and I spent a few hours alone after that. I felt I had nothing to lose, so I just asked him if he would support me getting an associate's, but that most associates for technical careers were in person. He then dropped the bombshell that if I wasn't traveling with him, he wasn't going to go those periods without. Wow, you suck. Wow, this guy sucks.
So he sees this relationship as transactional.
Yeah.
Everything in life is transactional for him.
He's like, you as my executive girlfriend partner, we're supposed to have with me and like, take care of the kids, and that's your full job.
Do you think he ever loved her?
I don't know.
It doesn't sound like it.
I don't know. Like, I feel like they both had like these roles in this relationship or in his mind. And the second that like that was kind of off kilter, he was.
Oy vey.
Yikes. I was astounded by his callousness because he's back to take it or leave it. We fought again with me saying we're all feeling the effects of age. I've supported him through health issues, and if he thinks he can just find somebody who has that loyalty I've shown him, he's wrong. At this point, I'm looking for ways out. I can't say I haven't been tempted to say I'll travel with him and try to get a remote job, but also realize how resentful I am that he continues to need to have the power in the relationship. I don't think I'll ever know my value truly, but something's telling me there has to be better out there, at least in a partner.
Yeah.
There definitely is. There is someone out there who won't make you wait 25 years to get married.
Someone that doesn't see you as an object.
Yeah. It's just like a partner and a nanny. I feel like that's what he's thinking her jobs are. And
I wonder what his relationship with his kids are.
I don't know. I'm also wondering about that. I don't know, but there is additional information, so we can find out. So last update from me for a while. I have decided to start sending in applications for work from home jobs such as social media manager, operations assistant, and bookkeeper as soon as I can get a resume together.
Nice.
That's great. I have downloaded templates online and I'm looking into displaced homemaker programs. There are some resume tip websites that are saying they have helped homemakers land 60K jobs, and I'm going to work hard on my resume. I hope that when they see my earnestness in the interview, they would be moved to take a chance on me instead of saying that a white-collar job is too much for me to ask for when I'm willing to work hard. I feel that after running a household, that these operations and administrative jobs, as well as social media management jobs, since I've done the photography for my family and friends, would be within my scope and experience. I hope my comments have not come off as spoiled or out of touch. I apologize if that has offended anyone. What I was trying to say is that I want to be able to rent a studio / 1 bedroom in a semi-safe neighborhood, and I've heard that new grads are able to make 45 to 50K a year semi-remote in business administration or marketing, and then hit 70 to 80K in around 5 years, and hope that if I show my intent to get a certification in those fields, that employers would give me this opportunity for me to rise up in the ranks. I love that OP's trying.
Yeah, it sucks that like she has to pick up a new skill set at this age.
In her 50s, which is great. Like,
good for her to have that will, but a lot of people don't at that age. So like, this is what I know. This is what I've learned. I don't want to learn a new skill. But I understand learning a new skill. Yeah. Learning how to live stream for you people.
Crazy.
Oh my.
I just need someone to take a chance on me and let me prove that I'm a hard worker. I'm not above applying to the big box retailers and such, but the people who work there seem to all be teens or else adults with dubious criminal pasts. So for the sake of my safety, as well as the promotion opportunities available with desk jobs, I would like to explore all my options.
Dang, she's gonna have to like start at the bottom.
Completely, yeah, this sucks. I will not sell the ring as of right now out of respect for my partner. However, if he shows me any more displays of disrespect, I will sell the ring. I will, however, do everything I can to prevent myself from falling into poverty. And if that means seeing a lawyer, I will do so. But in my opinion, new grads don't have that much more experience and much less invested in a job. So they can pick up and leave at any time. So I feel I'd be a more reliable hire.
So she's justifying herself leaving.
I feel like this is the resume.
Yeah,
she's
it does feel like a resume. This is her game plan of leaving the relationship, exiting.
Yeah, I wonder if, because I know based off Legally Blonde, after 10 years you are entitled in certain states, you're entitled to certain assets. So I wonder if she can take some of those assets.
What assets can I ask for?
From what?
From the boys.
Well, you haven't had a 10-year relationship.
But at the 10-year mark. If I can drive Sam's car once a month.
Wow, you're really lowballing it. I feel like he'd let you do it now.
Okay, we're at a break.
Yeah, we're at a break.
We're best friends now.
Comments. We're
Sophie
best friends. It's official. Riley and I are best friends.
We're best friends. But you also have another best friend that you've known for longer than 10 years.
Yeah.
What assets do they get that I don't get? Exactly. So with the boys, I'm like, okay, after 10 years, what's going on in this relationship?
Yeah, what do I get? Yeah, I don't have any assets yet, so.
You don't?
No.
Like, you can't hit up, can I say one of their names?
Sure.
You can't hit up Isabella and be like, yo, let me borrow your ice skates for a couple of days.
But is that an asset? I feel like that's just like a
perk,
a favor.
Fuck.
Yeah. A perk of the relationship.
No, let's say Isabella's parents have like a lake house and you can go to it anytime. That's an asset.
I mean, officially it's not an asset, but like in this new definition that we're creating for best friends, sure.
Maybe I just need to go explore what an actual asset is.
Google assets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, sidetrack.
No, it's okay.
Rabbit hole. What assets do you guys have?
Yeah,
and are willing to give to us in 10 years?
In 10 years' time, can I have your assets? Can you liquidate all of your assets and give them to me?
Or just give them to me raw? Wait, liquidate? What?
But relevant comments.
Oh, let's go.
OP on the lack of communication in the relationship and taking advantage of her boyfriend. I hope he also stops blaming me for whenever life doesn't rain gold appreciation down onto him. I hope that if he does try to find somebody else to have sex with, because he said that he will not abstain from if I'm at home and he's traveling, that he doesn't blame me for when he does not find somebody who will care and love him as I have done. When he goes looking for better and doesn't find it.
I don't really feel like she took advantage of the relationship.
I don't think so either. Honestly, I think it was like an a-hole move to herself.
Yeah.
Because she should have left the relationship earlier. But I don't think she was taking advantage of him.
No, like financially, yes, he was able to provide for her. But
but she was taking care of the kids.
Taking care of the kids. I hate
It's weird. It's weird. OP on not taking steps in her life to make earnings for herself without having to depend on her boyfriend. I understand and am mostly numb to the harsh words from a large amount of the comments. I was hoping that if a part-time job would take me on, I'd be able to get myself an apartment and a reliable source of transportation so I could start afresh. If not, I want to look into certificate programs or nonprofits that help moms first get a certificate and then get a job.
Nice.
That's good. I don't know what remote jobs are like, but if there's remote part-time jobs that don't pay much, but allow me to work from home so I can set up my new life, I'd love to do that. I know a cousin in her 30s who is a mom that works part-time but makes about $30 an hour, but I know she has an accounting degree. But her setup is great, and hopefully she can give me pointers because I know she networked her way into that job too. I know I have a lot to figure out, and there is another update.
It is a lot about who you know.
Yeah.
That's how I got here.
Yeah, it's how I got here.
Whoa. She's leaving the relationship, trying to find a way to live. Oh, that's so tough.
It's so hard because she obviously she's very dedicated to finding a new job, and she's like, I want to do all this. I have all these plans, but obviously it doesn't seem like she has a degree.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so hard to find a job.
Like I was having these questions of myself 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And now she's having them now.
Yeah.
Not saying you can't do anything at 54.
It is much harder.
It's much harder, and it takes time to build things, and then you won't really benefit from those things for a decade or so.
Yeah, that's the thing. Obviously you can do things at any age. You can pursue a new career at any age.
Oh, 100%.
But it's a lot harder when you don't have an income on your own to support yourself, and you have a kid still. Yeah, this is difficult.
Dude, she mentioned that there are programs and nonprofits that help moms get jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought of a hilarious movie idea of a mom, Tina Fey type, getting a job with podcasters. That'd be hilarious.
But there's an update. It's been over a month since I last posted, and my life has changed drastically.
Wait, how long ago was this? How long
this
ago
is January
was this?
26, 2024.
Okay, I'm looking. Okay, December 18th was her last one.
Okay.
So this is a month.
A month later. Yeah, it's been over a month.
Oh, month and a half.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also, she did just say it's been over a month. That was the first.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to see the time. I just like seeing the dates.
Yeah, the dates.
Yes. December 18th. Now it is
January 26th.
I like to be up to date.
Yeah. For those who didn't see my previous posts, my boyfriend of 30 years proposed after I had begged him for 25 years, and I had rolled my eyes because it took 25 years and him not being an executive anymore. In response, he retracted the proposal.
Ooh.
I really wish this update could have been positive, but I'm not doing well.
Oh.
No. But what remains is hope. Hope in the kindness of others, my grown kids, employers, courts, even my kids' dad. Hope in the value of love that I've given so freely to my kids' dad. Because I was raised to believe even those who don't appreciate the love I've given them will eventually self-actualize and pay it back.
No.
This is sad. Here's what happened since. Since my kid's dad accused me of trying to keep him an emotional prisoner, I tried to show him I valued his freedom. I gave him a space and showed that I could live life without trapping him. I started doing that right after our discussion. His reaction was anger. What do you want from this girl? After our talks, he started glaring and picking fights over everything. The speed at which I did housework, my spending within his allowance, and cut it to nearly zero. Oh my God, so he's taking away all of her money.
Yeah, you asked what he wanted in this relationship. He just wants power.
Literally.
He wants praise.
He's showing her that if she doesn't comply, he can take away everything from her. Asked for the ring back during an argument. I took the comments to my post to heart. In particular, advice telling me that if badgered, I should refuse to leave the house. Just a few days after our conversation about the engagement, he picked a fight and accused me of ignoring him. He said he wanted me out. I said no, I deserve to be here. He responded by having a lawyer send me a notice telling me to vacate that day. It happened so quickly, I was too shocked to react.
Whoa, so he planned that.
How did he get a lawyer to just do that in one day.
How can you be this cold to someone that
raised your children? I don't understand.
It was such a cold shoulder.
Literally. My kids were torn between dad's bluffing and try to leave, but now he's filed to evict. Oh my God. It's up to the courts now. I've tried looking for legal aid, but the person I talked to was cold and implied that my status as a mom and partner won't protect me from eviction. I've tried sending out applications for office jobs, but was told by friends to be kind to myself because if one rejection comes, something better will be along. My adult kids suggested I apply for SNAP, food stamps, and I haven't out of shame. They said if I do, and dad and I no longer live together, the government will help me collect child support. This is really sad.
Executive type living to this.
Yeah. My grown kids said they can't risk upsetting dad. My oldest told me a gas station was hiring night shift, and he'd try to help once he graduated. Just when I decided to just be grateful for the job, they rejected me after an interview where I feel I spoke well. That hurt. But I keep having hope because every day there are new remote and non-remote jobs posted saying they'll train the right candidate. I'm applying to every corporation, it seems, with hope that one of them will take a chance on me, give me an interview that I will ace. See me for somebody pulling herself up. I know my boyfriend wants me to beg, but I don't know if that would make him drop the suit. I just don't know anymore. I am in my corner of the house, trying to keep things normal and applying like it's a job. I don't know what else to say, but that ends my update for now. I maintain hope and dignity.
Oof.
Oh my God, this keeps getting worse. And there are some relevant comments and one more update.
Dude, this is so sour.
I just can't believe that he's like fully evicting her.
Fully evicting her,
not offering to help her find a new place or find a new job. And also the weird thing of like the parents can't risk upsetting him, so they can't help her. Like that feels very controlling to me.
Yeah.
Like that's their mom.
Does she even have a place to go? Is her parents still alive?
I don't know.
Does she have family, sisters, anything like that?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
I mean, at least not that she's like talked to.
Girl.
Or talked about in this.
What jobs are going to have the patience
to
work
train
with her
someone?
At that age?
It's so hard to get entry-level jobs anywhere. When I was in college trying to find a job at a Starbucks and I did eventually get a job at Starbucks, but that was because I knew someone who worked there.
Mm-hmm.
And also because I followed up on my email, which apparently people really like. But anyway, it was so hard to get a job at a library or something just super entry-level. And I can't imagine, being in your 50s and trying to get an entry-level job.
Should people approach job applications differently? Instead of applying the regular way, network with people that are above and be friends with them and be like, hey, by the way, I'm looking for a job. And they're like, I really like you. Get in.
I think honestly, it's pretty helpful. I would say when I was applying for Starbucks, I told the manager that I knew my friend. And so that was helpful. They were like, oh yeah, we have a basis for who you are. And so I think it's really helpful when you know someone. If people can get a basis for who you are and your personality.
If you have a good one. If you don't,
if your personality sucks, don't network.
Don't network. Don't get a job.
Mariposita 48 says, I'm so sorry you're going through this, OP. Have you thought about applying for a trade apprenticeship? I don't know the details of your circumstances or skills, but I wanted you to have another option to consider. OP says, my skills of competency are mostly around marketing and maybe something like investor relations, which my boyfriend's sister was in for around 8 years before she got married and changed to another role. I love creating beautiful imaging and speaking to people, even if they're strangers. I know it doesn't come off that way because I've been through a lot of emotional stuff lately. I don't think I would be a personality fit around tradespeople. We would likely have nothing in common, and they run the gamut in terms of background that made them choose trades over an office job that climbs the corporate ladder. I don't really know what that means.
Trades, blacksmiths, car repairmen, they're all like, I decided to work here instead of sitting at an office job where I'm in a cubicle all day.
Yeah.
Which fair.
Sure. Yeah. If it doesn't grill your goose.
What?
I couldn't think of the same, so I just made one up.
Tracks? Oil your tracks?
No, if it doesn't.
Dude, I don't even know what you're talking about.
If it doesn't.
Still your goose.
Oil your.
Another segment of Sophia's unfinished thoughts, everyone.
Hey, that wasn't unfinished. I finished the thought. You didn't like the finished thought.
Because it didn't seem right.
I'm ill. Okay, guys, I'm ill.
Wow. You were like this before you got ill.
OP on getting legal advice and how she was served by her ex. No, I was served by a sheriff. My son looked the sheriff up and confirmed he's legitimate. A friend of his whose dad works in the court, this friend does not know my husband, says he knows the sheriff and he's been used by his own company to serve stuff when they sued. It was a 30-day notice. I told him I wasn't going to leave. The day after the 30-day notice expired, he filed for eviction and I was soon served. Unless they got an identical twin of the sheriff to impersonate him, then this is real. I gave legal aid the papers and they said it's real. Why do you think it's not, may I ask, when there's a case name and instructions of where to file an answer? I'm so confused by this comment. OP on her education and work experiences. I did not go to college, but have done a lot of freelance marketing / doing stuff for family and friends' social media and editing family pictures, plus promoting school fundraisers. I would love to get a certification if I had the funds, but when I'm entry level, I just want to put my nose to the grindstone and work to show my potential. But I will definitely look into those videos, but am so busy with applying for jobs in the first place. And there is one more update. Whoa. That just dropped. Jesus Christ. That was scary.
Girl, like I say, every woman with opposable thumbs and entry-level skills to makeup, go on TikTok. Get on there. As it's still here today.
Yeah.
Put your makeup on. Explain your situation.
Maybe she's not good at makeup.
And people will come to you. I said intermediate skills at makeup.
I'm
people
bad.
will come to you. Okay? Do that.
Yeah. You just watch because she's putting on makeup.
Oh, story time. That's what I do.
Some people aren't cut out for the grind, though.
That's the second way I will listen to women.
What? Every other time you don't listen.
I'm just hearing you right now.
You're just tuning
Not
me
even
out.
listening. In one ear, out the other.
Out the other.
You can't even ask me a Sophia fact because I won't even know.
But there's an update. 1.5 months later, the unconscionable happened. A judge is letting my ex-boyfriend evict me. A judge who's supposed to uphold the laws of fairness, morality, and for years I assumed kindness, found in favor of my ex-boyfriend. My head is spinning. I haven't found a job yet, and I did everything right. I applied to hundreds upon hundreds of marketing jobs online. I've gotten 3 responses, but those responses asked me to download communication apps to do the interview, and their instructions are so hard to understand.
No, technology.
No, you gotta. Oh my no, this is bad. I don't do well with non-concrete directions, so I get too aggravated to respond. However, at this point, I'm desperate enough to interview even there.
No.
Yeah, no, you need to download those apps. I think it's really important, especially if you're like new to the job market, you have to have a base level understanding of technology.
Yeah.
Everywhere is using technology.
Word.
And you have to have some sort of understanding.
Gmail.
Of it. Yeah. Excel.
Dude, a lot of people want Excel, but I don't know how to use Excel.
Yeah. You don't necessarily have to have, be super techie, but just having just a couple, knowing how to work a computer, knowing how to make a spreadsheet.
Where she said, I applied to hundreds upon hundreds of marketing jobs.
Yeah.
This dude on TikTok said he applied to like 1,500 job applications or like some stupid number, like 1,500 or 7,000. I don't remember which one it was, but he didn't get a job until the last 700 results. And he was lucky because he went to the same college as another guy.
Yeah,
so
it's who you know.
Crazy.
Yeah, you just have to keep applying. I have taken the advice to apply to non-marketing jobs. My older daughter wrote me a resume for an office assistant job for a church that only offered 8 to 10 hours a week at $2 over minimum wage. I thought it was going to say $2. $2 over minimum wage, and they're somewhere in the South, so minimum wage is probably not that much. It's it has to be at least over $7.50, but I got called for an interview, and the pastor of all people seemed disappointed after seeing me and greeted me with a different tone than he greeted the next applicant who came in, a woman in her mid-20s. Horrible behavior from a mid-30s man. He even called me ma'am in this apprehensive tone. I did not get the job, but I feel bad for whoever does.
I was thinking, what's on the husband's side on her? Like, what is she doing wrong? Yeah. I just realized she's in the South and she has been like not married, but living with the man that she's not married with. So everyone in the South is going to be judging, and they're very judgmental about these things.
Especially if it's a pastor. Yeah, who might know her or something.
Yeah.
That makes it harder.
Dude, you're supposed to be welcoming.
Yeah.
And loving. What would Jesus do?
What would he do?
Jesus went to the woman by the well. Why can't you give this woman a job?
I only have a few days before a sheriff arrives. I've called my kids for help. My legal aid attorney predicted I'd only get visitation until I have a stable place.
What the
And child support would likely be enough to only partially pay for motel living, so I needed to quickly get a job. How can the world treat a mom like this? My adult kids arranged to meet me and told me there's a reason even their grandma called my ex an alley cat. Oh, so everyone knew he wasn't a good guy.
It's probably because they have so much money.
Yeah.
That he's able to do this stuff to her.
Yeah.
Oh!
They offer to sneak food from dining halls when I visit and lend me clothes for interviews, but said that their dad had laid down the law with regards to sending money, and they will not be sending me any money. And that when they get jobs of their own, they will also be prioritizing their own savings, and I should not expect any money. And that it's not my fault, but at some point the shows of fickle affection they've seen during their childhood, where they faced bullying and watched people like me who were kind be scorned, jaded them. And in all that instability, accomplishments and money were the only constants, and that had made them emotionally apathetic. But then it's hard to fix because it goes hand in hand with the overactive having sense of self-preservation they've acquired. They blame it on watching how self-preservation got their dad far and the lack of it crushed others. So what they're saying is basically like, we feel for you, but if we don't look out for ourselves, we're not going to get anywhere, because that's what dad did. And you were trying to look out for others, and look at where you are now.
Ooh.
And that's rough.
So the
that's
father has now grown a generation of selfish children.
Selfish children.
Wow.
Yeah, it's sad.
Wow.
It really sucks that the dad is trying to create this wedge between the children and their mom. On one hand, I do understand not wanting the children to be expected to pay for the mom's living expenses.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like she was asking for that much.
No. She probably doesn't even need that much.
Yeah. She just wants to like get on her feet.
She just wants an apartment to live in.
Yeah. She just wants a space to live in and a job. I was able to sell the few things that my ex did not bother to claw away from me. I have enough to book a room at a motel for about a week, but then I don't know. I asked my newly 16-year-old if she wanted to stay with me when I get a motel room. She started crying and begging her dad to let me stay. Oh, I will fight for custody with every ounce of strength I have, but I'm guessing her siblings are telling her to enlist self-preservation and stay with her dad. I understand, I do, but she still needs her mom. I'm in contact with a shelter. Hopefully I can find somebody who will fight for me to get housing, but I don't know what my future holds. And relevant comments, been here once before. You have no job or home. Why would you be granted custody? And Opie says, I'm working on finding a stable place for me and my daughter. This was really sad.
She was just used.
Used for 25 years. All she wanted was a relationship, a marriage. And then when she finally was able to ask for it, he kicked her out.
Yikes.
And now she doesn't have a place to live.
I feel like he's used the politics in his town to put her in this situation.
Yeah.
Like, how does a pastor know this stuff?
I'm also wondering if he's threatened her before and that's also why she didn't leave, or she wasn't sure that she could make it on her own, or didn't want to lose the children.
Bro, you're going to be traveling. You don't need the house.
Yeah, let her live there. With your kid. What is your daughter going with you traveling? Because
what's your kid gonna do?
Yeah.
Did you forget about that, pal?
Yeah.
She's gonna take care of your kid. Oh, not your girlfriend, because you got rid of her.
You got rid of her.
You got rid of the stay-at-home mom.
No, it seems like he's very selfish.
Oh, the 16-year-old kid. That's gonna be so tough on them.
Yeah.
On her. She's not gonna have someone to be there and take care of her. She's gonna have to fend for herself. She's gonna have to adult at 16.
Because he will not help her mom.
Boom.
She's actively looking for shelters because he's evicting her.
Insanity.
Yeah.
Insanity.
Yeah. That's the whole story. And I'm so sorry it was sad.
Yeah.
And there was no uplifting.
People are whack.
People are whack.
It's pretty juicy though.
It was a juicy story. But hopefully there's another juicy story that's less sad after this one.
Let's see.
My son's girlfriend is proposing to him, but he has other plans. What kind of plan? Well, you know what plan you should always have? To catch us live 3 p.m. PST every weekday.
Do it. I thought you were going to say plan B.
Yeah, so this comes from New Technology 7689, and they say, my daughter-in-law, a pediatrician named Lexi, called me today with the most wonderful news. She intends to propose to my son. Lexi is such a sweet, hardworking, thoughtful, no-nonsense woman, and my son always remarks on how loved and respected he feels by her. I have never seen him happier. It warms my heart to see him so serious with someone after all these years. All these years of dating around, going on Hinge dates, going to New York, just, being too single for too long.
I'm kidding.
Tell him, Sophia. Tell him how
she is
really
truly the daughter I have always dreamed of. I raised my son as a single mother for 29 years and had to be both mom and dad to him. His father walked out after his birth. Seeing him so deeply in love and respected by someone as amazing as Lexi fills me with pride and joy. I get to be girly with her and share my love of jewelry, which I plan to leave entirely to her. The entire family adores her and they're all excited to meet her. I already call her my daughter-in-law and consider her part of the family. Little does she know that my son has already bought her a ring and plans to propose during her birthday vacation in September. I am so happy for them. I cannot wait to see their futures develop as spouses and eventually as parents when the time comes. My heart is overflowing with happiness and excitement for their journey ahead. But will this double wedding proposal cause agony?
Yes.
Heartbreak?
It's all going to go wrong.
Or will it be okay? We may never know, except we do, because we have an update and we have some relevant comments.
Divorce.
Yeah, divorce right now.
Divorce.
The relevant comments. Backwood Diva says, we are now all shipping them and cannot wait for updates. Please try and find out information of when she is doing it and tell him so he can make sure her ring is there too. She's putting in that work. She should show off her bling bling from him to lol. OP responds, she actually told me how she's proposing. It's also during the birthday vacation. She said she is creating a 2-chapter book with custom art of all their first in chapter 1 and the proposal and ring in chapter 2. She is very creative. Aww. Fourth Degree Knight says it's such a wonderful story. I hope your son and future daughter-in-law have many, many happy years together. As a dad, I cannot understand how a dad can walk out on his own flesh and blood. When my son was born, I got the answer that every person seeks. What is the purpose of life? Be called daddy.
Ruined. A beautiful moment ruined. Dang kids.
And to clarify, he was being this kid's daddy. Congrats to all of you. Still not great.
Guys, we have truly
corrupted,
destroyed fatherhood.
We've destroyed fatherhood.
We have destroyed fatherhood.
I mean, but there's so many girls with like daddy issues. Like, I'm glad I could be a father figure to some of them.
Yeah, I got 300 right here.
Daddy's in the chat for John.
Yo, daddy's in the chat.
OP responds, I was his third marriage. Wait, he had 2 children in his second. The child support was bleeding him dry. Didn't want to be cruel and asked for the minimum support. Supported my son through uni, law school, and his master's all by himself. And there is an update.
Ooh.
What?
Nothing. I'm just laughing.
Okay.
You had the screen on me for like 2 minutes trying to adjust it.
2 minutes.
I had it on for maybe 20 seconds.
Update. So, my son Sean recently reached out to me with a request. He asked if I could take Lexi ring shopping with me since I'm in the process of designing a new ring for myself. He thought it would be the perfect opportunity for Lexi to see different styles and find her ideal ring. Sean shared with me that Lexi prefers something simple and not overly flashy. She told him anything bigger than 2 carats is for the ego. I would just like a simple solitaire under 2 carats with no fancy band and a meaningful engraving. While Sean, being a successful environmental attorney, wanted to splurge on something beautiful and expensive for Lexi, her preferences are clear. A little backstory. When they were dating and Sean was struggling to land a big law job, Lexi supported him without a complaint. She always told him, if I was in my residency and you had your big job, you'd do the same.
So he's a bum.
Damn. We're just trying to introduce any conflict we can.
Anything we can, yo.
We just have to be patient. It will come. And one day we will laugh about it at our wedding. Lexi does enjoy expensive things, but she firmly believes that her fancy habits and tastes are hers to finance, never putting that burden on Sean. I'm taking Lexi to my jeweler this Friday, and I'm incredibly excited to see her pick out her ring. And there are some relevant comments and another update.
Ooh.
This is just cute.
They're going to get divorced.
They're going to get divorced.
There's literally no doubt in my mind. Everything is going to crumble horrendously.
So CDU says, I am so happy for you. You are an amazing mother-in-law. I wish them all the luck. I know they will make great parents if they choose to have kids. Bro, there's zero conflict so far in this story. But just you wait.
Just you wait.
Just you wait. There's stuff to come.
Sit tight.
Obi responds, funny story. Lexi has a nephew and always wanted to be a mom. She raises her nephew like like her son. Sean never wanted kids, changed his mind seeing Lexi with her nephew Mason, who Sean also loves a lot. All right, everyone loves each other. I'm going straight into the update. Update.
Get this crap out of my face.
Things have been moving along beautifully.
Yeah, right.
Friday.
Towards divorce.
Yeah, dude, I see divorce. Dixie Blue Steel says, this story is refreshing. Get that out of my face, hey, Dixie Blue Steel.
Wait, just wait.
Pre-divorce. Friday, Lexi has been looking at simple, plain bands with solitaires, ovals, pair, round, and my jeweler, Groovy Greg.
Groovy Greg.
Everyone's cute in this story. Even the freaking jeweler has been taking notes on the pieces that caught her eye. Thankfully, when I was designing my new ring, she tried it on, and she's my size. Oh, so cute. Why don't you marry your mom instead?
Yeah.
Freaking OP's son. On the flip side, Lexi got Sean's ring size from his best friend. She found a beautiful white gold band for Sean with their birthstone sapphire. She even had it engraved. But it's fine. It's cute. But she hadn't disclosed what it says. And yes, she had it designed by Groovy Greg as well. She's returning to pick it up in July. Saturday, I sent photos and notes to Sean from myself and Greg, and we are designing a white gold 1.5 carat solitaire VVS for Lexi. Ring should be ready to pick up in August. So things are rocking and rolling on both ends. I wish I could share this with my husband or ex-husband, but I know they'll spill the beans. Thank you for listening to this old lady talk about her updates and some relevant comments from OP. OP on her son's father being at the wedding. OP says, my son told me that his father is banned from speeches. Whoa, intrigue. Frickin' finally.
Knew it.
At the wedding too, he has a tendency to make things about himself, and I would hate for him to ruin Lexi and Sean's beautiful day because he cannot shut up. And on OP and on Lexi's mother knowing about the proposals, her mother is aware of everything too as well. So far, we are the only two who know except for Reddit. And the question is, how can you foster a good relationship with your mother-in-law? I don't know.
This is a terrible relationship. So
yeah.
No lessons learned here.
No lessons learned. This is how you don't do it. Yeah, great story.
I mean, perfect relationship.
Perfect relationship.
Conflict.
Sophia, what is this story?
We need destruction. We need disaster.
We need destruction, disaster. There was no
destruction.
destruction.
Asked me for a positive story.
I asked. Well,
not all
positive. Positive ending. What is this? Is this a fairy tale without the middle?
Why is your head like 3 feet like next to the floor?
Your head is all the way down.
I don't know, man. I'm shorter than Riley.
Put the chair up.
There you go. Oh, we got Riley his new chair finally.
Yeah, we did. We did get Riley a new chair. Has it been comfortable?
Oh,
he said it was
I
great.
think it's very comfortable.
Oh, nice.
The reports are in.
Freaking nice, dude.
Okay.
There we go.
That was something.
Ending on a positive
Ending
note.
on a positive
Who
note.
would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it? Ugh. Where's
Starting
the
on a
drama?
Drama.
Where's the drama?
All right, well, maybe there's drama in this second story.
Oh, that's right. So here we go. Are we ready? Here we go.
Is Sophia ready?
Sophia's ready. Am I the a-hole for turning down my friend who proposed to me on Valentine's Day?
Yes.
Yes. And this comes from I'm too submissive. Ooh, who says, I am too submissive and I don't know if that's good or bad. Now, that's not in a spicy sleep sense, but more in the personality department. I'm not married, but I literally can't imagine being the type of woman who would want to spoil her husband rotten. I wouldn't mind being the submissive wife archetype who would treat my husband like a king with back massages, dinner prepared, tying his tie every morning, and making him lunch every day. Don't tell Riley.
You know what? Riley's been actually really good about making dinner for his girlfriend.
He's been doing good.
He's been doing good.
Beneath his surface.
Beneath his exterior.
Lies such a sweet,
he sensitive young
he has
man.
this shtick.
He has a shtick.
But then if you look at his soul.
Yeah, if you look at his actions over his words, you'll find something deeper.
Usually it's the opposite.
It is. I would say so. I would say that his actions are the opposite of his words.
In the literal best way.
In the best way.
Human possibly could be on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Of a shtick.
No, I agree.
Love you, Riley. Come back. Hashtag bring Riley back home.
Riley! By the time that this comes out, he'll be back. But I text him like every day, and I'm like, I miss you. Come home. I love you, Riley. Come back.
I had to get one ugly cry face in there. All right. So, back to the story.
Oh, Dixie Blue Steel said, "Have you checked your iron? I just had bad sleep.
Did you ate your full meal, right?
Oh yeah. No,
Yes.
I ate. I am iron efficient.
I was about to throw food.
The evidence of the food I ate is next to me. I just woke up 3 times for no reason last night.
I'm watching you. I'd let him have the last say if possible, so long as it's out of love, and probably be the wife who'd be at his beck and call if possible. I do all of these things even if I loved him more than he loved me. Dang! Yikes. So long as he isn't physically or emotionally abusive or cheating on me, I can't imagine minding myself doing whatever he asked.
OP, I feel like you need to raise your standards just a smidge.
Let's bump it up, girl.
Let's bump it up.
Bump it up.
Let's bump it up.
Come on. Problem is, a lot of people, including some of my friends, hate that. The fact that I am the kind of woman who makes it easy for me to be taken advantage of, and I admit, I am fully aware, they think that because I am this way that I believe that men are superior to women, which I don't. I just want to fully please my future husband. I don't know if this is freakishly traditional or just me. To be honest, I've almost always been pretty submissive and passive and used to be painfully shy growing up. And while I have been growing out of my timidity,
yes.
Timidity.
Like being timid.
Being timid. My timidity. I knew the word, but I was like, how do I pronounce it?
Yeah, no, you nailed it.
Thank you.
You nailed it, John.
And while I have been growing out of my timidity, I am still pretty soft and go through lengths to avoid confrontation, which is a good thing and a bad thing. While I acknowledge I need to work on that, I still wouldn't mind being nearly subservient to my future husband, so long as he's the type of person I could absolutely adore. Are my friends right? Am I too submissive? For my own good, would it even be possible to be in a proper relationship with that kind of personality? You know, we got some people that have relevant comments that are
What does this have to do with April Fools?
You know, I think we're
gearing up for it.
building.
Oh, interesting.
But first, I have to build a question to you, Sophia.
Build it.
How do we feel about OP? Is OP in a good headspace? In a bad headspace? What say you?
I don't think there's necessarily a problem in wanting to take care of your partner, even if those come out in gendered ways, like wanting, or typical, stereotypical gendered ways of a woman wanting to feed and take care and everything and for her partner. But I think the only thing that worries me is just I'll do this even if he doesn't love me that much.
And I think I heard you guys talking about this a little bit before with like you were into ballet and it wasn't for a gendered reason, just because that happened to be what you liked. It could be that I
tried everything else.
She tried everything.
Literally, I went through 8 sports before I got to ballet.
Wow, that's an intensive rotation. But I agree with you in thinking that basically everything Opie said could be fine if that's just purely what she wants and she has a supportive partner that actually
who loves her,
who'll be very good to her, that they both agree upon that, and he gives back equally and treats her phenomenally.
Yeah.
The one part being even if he doesn't that to me is submissiveness to the point of insecurity.
Yeah. Submissive to the point of I don't deserve anything better. Yeah, or that idea of I don't deserve anything better.
Yeah, that's where I think it becomes an issue, because some people I'll make my girlfriend coffee in the morning or something. Yeah. It's a nice it's just a nice little thing, but it's just it's just a thing. It's a thing we do.
It's a thing.
I wake up a little earlier where it works out well, you know. But
Agreed.
Sorry, you go ahead.
No, I just said agreed.
Agreed.
Sorry to interrupt.
I am petrified. We interrupt Sophia too often. Do you know that? Do you know that, everyone? Yeah, I watch back and listen to the comments.
No, I honestly am just a slight tangent that editor can take out. I think that all of us having diagnosed and undiagnosed ADHD means that we interrupt each other a lot. And I think that because I have a lot of friends in my life who are diagnosed as ADHD, that is a type of conversation, a conversation style that I'm very used to.
We reach equilibrium as long as we're all equally in the same place.
Yeah,
we can interrupt each other equally, and everyone. Wow.
I don't find offense to getting interrupted as long as I don't think it is intentional.
True.
Which usually, when you're surrounded by people who have ADHD, it is not. It's just a conversation style.
You just blew my mind. But you know what blows my mind?
this story.
These relevant comments. So,
yeah.
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley?
All right. Bob Marley says.
What does Bob Marley say?
You sound like a wonderful woman. Don't worry.
Bob Marley.
About a thing. Okay.
You sound like a wonderful woman.
Right? You are the kind of woman a man dreams that he can be married to.
This sounds like a song.
Right? I know. Your friends have their own opinions on matters, but I feel as though you should not bother at all. Being submissive in the manner you described is not wrong at all. It sounds really sweet and lovely. You sound like a very lovely woman. You shouldn't change anything about yourself at all. OP replies to Bob Marley saying, thank you. I have heard that from many of my friends that I am ultimate wife material. And while it does make me happy to hear, it makes me ponder if I'm really a willing pushover for what I've been told by my girlfriends.
I like that OP looked out for the comments that like just agreed with her.
That is true. Or whoever put this together.
Bob Marley was like,
Marley.
you sound like the type of woman a man could marry.
Is this ultimately some sort of secret marketing for Bob Marley's estate? Just to
No
put
great
it-
sponsors.
You know what? I'll allow it. But there is an update. A little over a week ago, I have been talking with my friends about relationship dynamics, and I told them that I actually view myself in a submissive wife role, and I have no problem with it. I go on a huge spiel about it on my r/confessions post. I spoke with my girlfriends and a few of my guy friends about it, and mainly one of them went to tell either one of some of my guy friends about it. So, come April Fool's Day, one of my guy friends. Huh?
Here it comes.
Here it comes. Are you ready, everyone watching? Here comes April Fool's Day. We all know what's going to happen. One of my guy friends, let's call him B, who I suspect is either somewhat bipolar, has ADD and ADHD, or something that makes him rather impulsive. That is quite a gumbo. Calls me over to meet with him that evening after work. My first thought is he's going to do an April Fool's joke. I'm thinking I'm ready to see what he has in store since he did a funny one in college, literally having some of his friends chase me in funny costumes all around the dorms lot. Anyway, he turns around, kneels onto one knee, pulls out a case, and proposes. Yep.
Sacre bleu.
Sacre bleu. Now keep in mind, we're only friends. I've never dated him or considered it because I can't see each of us as anything beyond good friends. Super slight side tangent. We've had a story where someone thought they were in a relationship for a year, but it was a friendship. I would love to see a story. This is my request, Sophia.
Yeah.
To find a story where someone was in a relationship for so long, not realizing it, that the other person proposed to them, and that was the first time they realized they were in a relationship.
On it.
I know it's out there in the ether. That's
Actually, we have already read that. We read a somewhat similar story in which OP a while ago, one of OP's friends proposed to her because he thought that they were already dating, and she was like, why would you think that?
Without me?
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Oh no, I'll find it again.
Find another one. It's okay.
I'll find another one. Don't worry.
Yay, I'm happy again. But back to the story. Also, knowing my friend, he would be the type of guy to pull off this kind of thing as a joke. So thinking it was another April Fool's joke, I laugh and tell him, nice try, because I truly think it's an April Fool's joke.
Why would it not be?
If you want to put some ICUs in the comments, please drop them. He raises the case more, and I keep giggling and asking if he's serious a couple of times before he just says, yep, April Fools. Got him. There we go. It's a joke. It's, we're having fun. We both laugh and told him that he couldn't get me that easily since I knew what day it was, and we see each other off. Later on, I found out from a friend that he's been in a funk since and was mopey. At first, I thought something had happened until a friend of mine came to talk to me before I could say hi to him in the morning. Apparently, he was legitimately proposing to me.
Why would you legitimately propose to someone on April Fool's?
Because then you have a perfect out. Let's run down the list. First off, it was on April Fool's Day, right? Second, they were friends and haven't even dated at all.
Third, give me a third.
Third, you're an idiot. What did you expect?
I know you physically can, but can you propose to someone you have not dated?
That's such a good question, and I actually do believe yes. Because those stories where it's star-crossed lovers and they were together for so long and da-da-da-da-da, and then there's I think there's a way.
Yeah, they come in. It's raining.
Yeah.
They're dripping wet. They're like, Mary, open the door. And then Mary's there. Oh, am I Mary or you Mary? Who's Mary? Mary, I've got to speak to you. You got to hear me out, Mary.
Oh my, what is this about?
It's about you and me and love.
What?
I've loved you this whole time, Mary, and I didn't know how to tell you.
Oh my God.
I know you're married to Tim, but Tim is half the man I am.
Oh, I like Tim. He's not so bad.
No, he's an a-hole, and he's a banker.
He makes a lot of money.
I'm a movie star, Mary, and I love you.
Oh my.
And I want to marry you.
Okay.
Scene.
And scene. That's exactly how it happened. But is that what's gonna happen here? Are we gonna change chat? Do we think that this is gonna turn
around? Do you think this is gonna happen?
Is this gonna unlock the relationship that eventually leads to marriage? And he was down. He was sad that I thought it was a prank. On April Fool's, who could have thunk it?
Who could have? He's like, why would you? I did this whole thing where I thought it was gonna be a really lovely day, and I forgot it was April 1st.
But no. Apparently, somewhere in that conversation my friend had with him, he thought that I would accept his proposal. I'm baffled and keep trying to wrap my head around it. Until now, I never knew he had feelings for me whatsoever. I mean, he never asked me out or anything like that, and I never had feelings for him like that either. I only see him as a friend, and I don't like him in that way. I honestly don't know how to go about all this. The fact that he liked me in that way, his proposal was real, and I honestly thought he was joking, and he did say eventually it was a joke. He jokes around and pulls pranks so much. I never expected anything like this. How do I proceed from here? This just made things extremely awkward, and I have no idea what to do when I see him again. And before we get into the edits and the relevant comments and all those goodies,
I think we need to pull together the first and now this second part of the story. The seemingly unrelated parts of these stories.
Yes, this is the Christopher Nolan
cinematic
tying together.
Universe. Yeah.
We thought we were experiencing two different realities, but now let's merge it into one. The guy hears all of these things and is like, hey, I would love a woman who will just wait on my every beck and call and desire and want to please me no matter what.
Why wait? I'm right here.
I wait, babe. And then, you know what she does? The audacity, Sophia? She displeases by not accepting my marriage proposal. I thought you wanted to be the traditional wife that is just down to service her man in any way, form, or fashion.
I assumed that meant anyone would do.
I thought any male meat sack with a pulse was eligible for this offer, but I guess I was in the.
I submitted my resume and you didn't even look at it.
I thought I understood the assignment, but I didn't. What is this guy thinking? What is happening?
I truly don't understand.
Yeah, I'm just kind of lost. To be honest, like, I also wonder, I'm like, is this like a long tail prank where like the part of the prank is like, oh, hey, I'm proposing to you, but it's April Fool's. And then the friend says, oh no, he was being serious. And then it's like a long con. And then they're like,
brilliant.
That
would be so good.
That's actually pretty good.
I gotcha.
But is that, can we poll? Can we poll? You'll find his post one day in r/nice
He's
guys.
like, my friend said that she wanted a guy to cook for and care for, and that she would love him so much. And I took her on that offer, and she was not telling the truth. She's a liar.
All my pals and lads were like, hey, this lady's looking for a good lad. And I think, hey, I'm a good lad.
I'm a good lad.
Why don't I just put my application out there and just see what happens?
Put my foot in the door.
I'll put my toe in the crevice. Why not?
I'm a good guy.
You know me, I'm a good guy. All my pals say I'm a good guy. You are an idiot, sir.
You're an idiot.
But the poll is,
what
was the poll? What was the poll, chat? The poll.
Ongoing April Fool's prank.
Oh, yeah. Ongoing April Fool's prank. Yes or no? I think it's very plausible. Given, like, she's like, this guy is like a big prankster. Like, he's got me before, it was fun. Blah, blah, blah. So we'll see. But we got an edit. All right. Wow. I didn't expect this magnitude of responses. When you have an idiot that extraordinary, it elicits a response.
The people show up.
I haven't responded to all of them, but I'm reading each and every last one, taking them into consideration. Thank you all for taking the time to give me such wonderful advice. I just wanted to say that to you guys. On to some relevant comments here. Little Stray says, my alarm bells are going off.
Ring, ring, ring.
Banana phone. Got him. You're in your early 20s and he's 30. That's a sizable difference in maturity gap. Mind you, OP is 23 female and OP is 30 male.
You mean OP and the friend is 30 male?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the friend is 30 male, sorry. That he'd propose without even dating you is frankly crazy. That he'd wrap any sort of relationship step in a joke suggests he's immature. Like, really,
it just suggests.
It's the my friend stole my phone of romantic overtures, but he's a grown man. What's that?
Oh, like if he were to send her, oh, hey, I like you. And then she responded back, sorry, I only like you as a friend. He'd then text back, oh, sorry, my friend stole my phone. He texted that as a joke.
What a brilliant concept.
You've never heard that?
I have.
Okay,
But what does your mutual friend think about all this? OP replies, my mutual friend actually told me that at first they thought he was joking too until they learned from him that he was being serious. She told me that it was weird and that none she or I saw it coming. Apparently, he only told her his plans and that she was weirded out by it. And he's always been a weird guy, but still caught her off guard. I plan to talk to her more about it tomorrow. When someone's weird, but still catches you off guard with how weird it is. That's an issue.
They're like, oh no, this is my friend. They're super weird. And then one day they do something. You're like,
you're weird, but that was
even weird for you.
Weird. He's always acted younger than he truly is. And truth be told, he's immature and impulsive in many ways. It never occurred to me that he would do something like that in all seriousness. I don't know that he knows that I know it wasn't a joke now. The guy, he's not sure whether the guy is aware that OP's informed of this whole situation or not. So it could be like, is he thinking that he'll be pining? I'll be maybe considering it now that I know. Is it like he's just like, you know,
he's like, I bet she's like at home right now just thinking about turning down my offer,
just plotting on
wishing
me.
She'd said yes,
wishing she could get a nice guy like me. OP adds more info. Thank you for the advice. So some context here. We've known each other for 3 years, and aside from hugs, high five, and the friendly, playful poke and stuff that I do with all my friends, I never thought it was out of the ordinary. At times, we would have deep conversations, but never anything too deeply romantic, let alone anything implying any romantic feelings for each other, which I don't have for him. Tough nuts, buddy. As far as I've witnessed, he's usually just as playful with his other friends as he is with me, which I never truly saw something like this coming. I saw no change in his behavior whatsoever. The last thing I was talking to him about before all of this was if he wanted to watch The Walking Dead with us, which, to be clear,
that is a sign of someone wanting to marry you.
If the apocalypse happened, would you want me to carry you through the end times? That's what he was saying. It was a clearly coded message, Sophia.
Yeah.
It was so
said,
obvious.
oh, do you want to watch Walking Dead with me? And he heard, do you want to walk down the aisle with me?
Do you want to watch Walking Dead and then walk down the aisle?
So clear to
This
me.
is the most crystal clear.
There's only one way you could take this.
Yes, I accept. I think the relationship conversation one of my friends had with him definitely got misconstrued in the mix some way. I need to ask her exactly how she told him and what happened during that conversation. I think he does have some mental health problems, mainly a lower level bipolar disorder that had been diagnosed, since he tends to be moody before completely back to his energetic, playful self. I never thought the conversation would spiral in that way. I never expected for it to happen. I'm still wrapping my head around that, and I'm beginning to reflect back on any ways he's even shown remote interest in me. I never meant to make him feel bad. I didn't love him in that way, but he is my friend. Had he known I was serious, I would have probably handled it better. I mean, he's the type of guy with an over-the-top sense of humor. How did this guy think this is going to work? So I truly thought he was joking. I mean, it was April Fool's, and he's done crazy things like this in the past, but nothing like this. I'll try to talk to him when I get the chance. I really want to salvage our friendship. Despite everything, he's a funny and nice guy. A nice guy.
He's such a nice guy.
He's such a nice guy, whom I'm glad to have as a friend as well. I just never liked him in that way at all, and he never even inferred he liked me in that way before now. I really hope that we can still be friends, but if we can't, I understand taking some distance between us. What a mess. And then we have an update after that.
Boyo.
You don't owe this guy anything.
Yeah.
What do you think happened here, Sophia?
She'll go for the first guy that offers.
She's ready to settle down. Yeah. So if a man gets on, if a funny, playful guy who does these kooky, wacky April Fool's jokes everyone loves gets on one knee, she can't help but accept.
Yeah.
But also on dude, I don't know what's happening right now.
I don't understand.
I don't know if he's lying. I don't know if this is a bigger
prank.
Know
who's telling the truth?
Who's telling the truth? I don't know. But there's more. We just might get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. So please sit tight.
Zooey mama.
Zooey mama. Update. I actually wound up not getting the chance to talk to my friend after all about what he said because he sought me out before I got the chance to talk to him yesterday. But he's ready to chat 1v1. You know what I'm saying? As it turned out, several of you guys were right. He was half joking, half serious about the proposal.
You can't be both.
Or can you? Because if you go and you're like, you know what, this is a silly prank. But at the same time.
He's like, but if she said yes.
If she actually said yes, I would be down. From a April Fool's perspective, I do see the logic. I do see this April Fool's logic.
Maybe he thought that like if I'm getting inside his brain.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought, okay, I'm not actually proposing to her because that's crazy. But maybe
on the off chance
she'll date me. Maybe this will like I still want to be friends with her, but I'm a little into her. Maybe I can lead this into dating.
Yeah, that like it kind of becomes this like playful ruse. Everyone's like, oh hey, when's the wedding, guys? Blah 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 blah. One thing leads to another, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, let's go on a date or whatever. Oh, sure.
Let's do a little date. It's a joke.
Yeah, it'd be so funny if I got like a little picnic basket, a little champagne, and we just like...
Yeah, 12 days of April are all joke related.
12 days of April Fool's dating.
Yeah.
Honestly, am I wrong in thinking this would be a like cheesy rom-com plot?
Oh my God, cheesy rom-com plot, fake dating on April 1st, and then they keep up the ruse for the 12 days of April Fools.
Tell me that is not a direct-to-stream rom-com. Tell me right now.
Yeah.
It is.
It is.
All you big streamers out there.
It's just called April Fool's Day.
Call us. Me and Sophia, we can write it and voice act it.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's an animated movie.
Animated. Yes. Okay. But so back to the story. He had liked me for a long time, and he purposefully had chosen April Fool's Day to see if I had any romantic interest in him as he did in me. I truly don't understand why that would be a good case to see if I liked him in that way, because to propose to anyone out of the blue without dating them usually means an automatic no. Wow. He was actually upset by my reaction more than he thought he would. And right after telling me this, he asked me out.
Oh boy.
I don't like this.
Wait.
Yes.
Sorry.
Talk to me.
I took it in, but I didn't really take it in.
Yes.
So OP has already been like, no. And then he told her this whole thing, and then he was like, this is the moment where I ask her out.
Like basically the exchange. So he sought her out, right? And then they're like, he was like, oh yeah, I didn't know that you were being serious. He's like, it was kind of a joke. It was, I was kind of, maybe curious to see if there was anything there and thought it could be funny. And, it's like, again, half joke, half like testing the waters to see if there's any interest. And it's like, yeah, okay. So that's okay. Like, all right, that makes sense. I see what you're saying. So you want to like grab some dinner tonight? That's what happened. My God, I am pouring sweat.
He's pouring sweat, everyone. He's pouring sweat for you.
I had to pass this pillow away.
Enough about John's sweat.
Enough about me. Let's get to OP. So I turned him down as politely as I could.
Again.
Though since I don't like him in any way like that at all, he said he thought I had feelings for him. I told him I loved him as a friend and that I hope we could remain good friends still. But he just stormed by me afterwards. Judging from that reaction, I don't think our relationship will be repaired anytime soon. I guess it's for the best in the end. I agree. Thank you all for your wonderful advice you gave me. Things didn't really go as I expected them to, but at least I have much more clarity on the situation. And we have some relevant comments to close us out here. OP says, yeah, something tells me it'll make an interesting April Fool's story in the future. I plan to definitely distance myself from him and definitely be more careful. It actually started all off on just a conversation with friends on relationships. Didn't expect it to spiral into this. That is crazy how like her conversation about, you know, oh, this is, I would like to be the traditional wife or whatever, ended with this.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she was just talking about, you know, maybe slightly misguided ideas about relationships.
Dude, this is...
And she was like, wait a minute, no.
I guess that teaches me to put it all out there, lol. Definitely going to wait a while before I bring something like that up again. Diesel says, wow, this must be the absolute most awkward and likely fail way to ask a friend out I've ever heard of. Because imagine you're like, hey, would you want to go out with me? And then they're like, no, you know, hey, you're a great friend, you know, but, you know, honestly, I think we're better as friends. It's a prank, bro. God. You just got pranked, bro. Look at the camera and say hi to my followers.
Be brave.
Be brave.
Be bold.
Be direct. Easy breezy direct. Ask her out. That is so much more awkward than just straightforwardly asking you out. Like, did he really think you would say yes? I'm baffled by the whole thing, but it sounds like you handled it as well as you possibly could have. OP says, thanks. This whole thing is crazy, and even thinking about it baffles me. I honestly don't know what's going on. I honestly don't know what was going through his head at the time, and I guess now I never will. Granted, with what everyone pointed out and a bit more hindsight, I realized that maybe it was never a real friendship. Walking the Dead says he was hoping you'd say yes and be his perfect submissive fantasy wife girl. Make no mistake that what sprung all of this was your previous declaration. He wants an exclusive particular fetish. P.S. that in any way shifts the blame onto you. Like that doesn't.
Maybe they meant to say that doesn't in any way shift the blame
I think I meant to say that doesn't in any way shift the blame onto you. Which OP respond, with what's happened, I guess I really shouldn't have talked aloud about that with my friends given all that's happened. Going to definitely keep things like that under wraps.
I think that you should be able to talk about those types of things with your friends. And
yeah.
If you feel like you aren't able to, then they may not be the right friends for you.
This sucks.
Yeah, I don't think the lesson of today was don't tell your friends things.
Yeah, shut up and never communicate with your friends, or like I feel like this is what friends are for.
Yeah.
To be able to like, we're all figuring life out, especially OP's
brainstorm.
Like OP's 23 in her early 20s trying to figure it all out, and I feel like we grow such great relationships and grow as people, like discussing these kinds of things with our close friends mean the most to us. But this leads me to our question of the episode, which is, should you confront friends about their bad behavior or go no contact?
I think this behavior should have been confronted first, which it kind of was. And then if it continues, then no contact, or if it makes you uncomfortable.
So like the way that when the guy eventually approached and they had the conversation, nobody was like, hey, like, I don't feel that way. And not me. And then after that, when he's like, oh, you don't want me, okay, cut it off.
Yeah.
No more.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know why OP seems, which I guess kind of makes sense. She's like slightly grieving the past friendship of like the good times that they had, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's also now realizing that he's a different person, probably.
Yes. And I think those situations can go in a lot of like different ways. I don't think if someone like asks you out, it necessarily means that your friendship is over. Because I feel like I've experienced like both sides of like someone like a friend asking me out and me turning them down, and then them being awful, and that relationship had to end. But then I've also had like another instance where a friend asked me out and they were really nice about it. And so it's like you confront them, or you face the situation head on, and then you go from there. So
yeah, you're generally pro like, hey, let's address the situation, and then if it goes sour from there, you go no contact. But you kind of lead with the, you know, confronting the quote unquote bad friend.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best case scenario for conflict resolution, for lack of a better way. Like the person you said that took it very well, it's like it worked out great because it's like you could have lost that friend if you went no contact. And it's like, hey, maybe I lose out on a possible great friendship by not sitting down and having the chance to have like an open and maybe awkward and painful, but ultimately honest dialogue about it. I like that. That's a good take. That's a Sophia good take right there. But ladies and gentlemen, you think this episode is over. You freaking fool, it's not.
I need you to get back to reality because this episode ain't over. I can't afford to get sick right now.
We can't do it. We're pushing through.
I didn't buy anything. I already had it all. I'm just using it on this 1 week.
Speaking of persevering and pushing through, Sophia, are you ready to close this out stronger than we have ever closed? Yeah, that's the spirit. Let's do it.
My best friend got engaged, but I was in love with him.
No!
Tragedy. 28 male and 28 female. He was my best friend anyway. We'll call him Jake. We met the summer before our freshman year of high school and ended up going to homecoming together. He was my first kiss during a slow dance.
Oh.
He looked at me, said my name, and kissed me. We dated for a few months, but we were just kids.
Oh.
By the way, this comes from eGirl813 on the OK Storytime subreddit. So, we decided we'd be better off as friends, and so we spent all of high school being the best of friends. We had a group of about 8 very close friends, 6 guys and 2 girls. I know what you're thinking. No, she and I didn't have any type of relationship beyond friendship with any of them, aside from me and Jake. We'd all spend as much time as possible together at Jake's house, lying on the basement floor, talking and laughing about philosophy, dreams, space, history, sports, girls, and guys we liked and disliked, all between bites of pizza. What is this, that 70s show?
Come on.
Jake and I had a special kind of friendship and everyone knew it, but nobody, including us, knew how to describe it. We just understood each other and always looked out for each other. He was there for me when things got rough at home, and I was there for him through countless injuries and heartbreaks. He's a very clumsy, very loving goofball. We couldn't help but smile when we were together, and I never felt so at home with another person in my life.
Oh, stop it.
This is so cute.
Oh.
I always encouraged him to do what made him happy, even if it seemed crazy, and he did the same for me. Once he even packed his car full of our friends to drive to my college and make me come home for the weekend just because they felt like I'd been gone too long.
Oh, dang. Jake's a good old guy.
Jake, don't marry her.
Don't do it.
I think we both knew we had some sort of feelings for each other, but we just never acted on it. We spent all of high school and college in this weird circle where he would get a girlfriend and I'd be single, secretly wishing I could be with him. Then I'd move on and get a boyfriend and he would be single, secretly wishing he could be with me. Every time I came home from college, we'd meet at the same restaurant and catch up. And it felt like we could talk all night, but it was always hard to say goodbye. We all spent the summers together and I'd hope nothing would ever change.
All right. If this was happening to me and I felt this way about someone, I'd be like, look, I'm waiting on you.
I'm waiting on you.
You can stay with that guy.
I'll be
here waiting on you.
This went on for 10 years and then finally it happened. We were both single, 2 years out of college, and one night he was at my house and he looked at me, said my name, and kissed me. For the next few months, we spent every day together and it was like a dream. Even our friends couldn't be happier.
Aww.
But eventually he started acting different.
Oh, no.
Not mean or anything, he just treated me differently. He wasn't acting like I was the same girl he'd known the last 10 years. He would coddle me and baby me even though he knew I wasn't that type of girl. I asked him why he would do that. And he said he thought that's what girls liked. I asked him to just treat me like me. And he did for a day or two, but then started again. It was like we couldn't be us anymore because he needed to be delicate and needy like his exes were. I'm not trying to be mean. They really just were quite needy and he enjoyed that. We had a serious talk about it and decided we cared too much about each other to ruin our friendship. So we called it off again after less than 6 months. And I knew that was my last chance.
Dang.
Bummer.
Low key, you could have worked through that.
We still spent a lot of time together and we really went right back to how we were before. I was so upset that we couldn't figure out how to just be together, but I would rather have my best friend than an ex I never see again. Fast forward 2 years, we hadn't seen each other nearly as much, and I felt like that was for the best. I could still support and care about him, but maybe it was time for a little distance. I have a boyfriend and he has a girlfriend, and she's exactly his type.
And I was happy for him, but I knew what was coming. I knew there would come a day where he would have to choose between a relationship with her and keeping me around because, let's face it, we aren't kids anymore. We're not getting any younger. And honestly, who would want their boyfriend to be friends with a girl he tried to date twice but kept around despite that? I get it. I really do. But that didn't stop it from breaking my heart. Pretty soon after they started dating, that day came. I honestly didn't realize it had happened for almost a year because, again, we hadn't seen each other that much. I only contacted him to invite them to things our friend groups did together. Every time I'd reach out, he had an excuse to miss it. And I really thought nothing of it. But one day, it clicked.
Oh no.
Since then, I've seen him maybe once a year for the last 4 years, and I've accepted that. Last week, they got engaged.
Oh.
Ouch.
Dang.
Ouchie.
They gave it a shot.
They tried. Yeah, you guys tried twice.
Guess tried, but failed. I think there was success.
But failed.
You could have definitely succeeded.
I've been waiting for that moment for years, and I told myself that when it came, I would be nothing but happy for him, but that just wasn't true. It broke my heart, and I cried for much longer than I felt like I deserved to. Our friends are throwing a party, and I, of course, am not invited. That sucks. I definitely won't be invited to the wedding, and well, I'm basically not invited to be a part of the rest of his life. I think it took until that moment for me to fully understand that he was gone because some little part of me selfishly hoped we'd still find a way back to each other. By the way, you can always find a way back to us by joining us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube. Just tap her profile.
The reason they didn't work out was because he babied her so much. That's it.
Yeah.
What?
The thing is that I think that they were both so worried about their friendship. They didn't want to put it in risk. Yeah. They were like, oh, well, it might not work out. So let's just take a step back. Even though I moved to the city and made new friends and he got a job far away, I just hoped that all that time that somehow it would be him I'd end up with. Neither of us are the kind of people that would stir up any trouble, so I've never told him how I felt. And if he feels the same, I'm sure he won't speak up either. I know this is a long post, but that's kind of what this sub is for. Long overdue, long time coming, long stories. It feels good to at least tell some strangers that I never stopped loving him. I feel like I lost so much more than a best friend. He's truly the one that got away. My life feels like the unsatisfying ending of a 90s rom-com.
Ooh.
And that is the freaking end.
Damn.
I'm unsatisfied.
Me too.
Man, that was sad.
Go after it.
Go after, I mean, like,
come on.
Yeah, I think steps, break up with boyfriend.
Yeah.
Go after your ex, say, hey, I like, not at the wedding. Don't do it at the wedding. Do it now. Well, break up with your ex and then go and be like, hey, I know you're about to get married, but I need to tell you that I'm still in love with you. And then you just leave.
Yeah.
You know, you say, hi, I just wanted to like be frank with you. I am still in love with you. And, you know, if you don't feel that way, totally fine. I understand. But I just needed to get it off my chest and then leave. That's the end of that story.
And my partner and I just got engaged, but he won't stop lying to me.
You're done.
You're done. I am delighted to share that I recently got engaged. Congratulations. My partner and I began dating when we were both 17 years old. And from the very beginning, we felt a strong connection and knew that we were meant to be together. We have had numerous conversations about marriage over the years, and we mutually decided to start planning for our future together when we both reached the age of 25. By the way, this comes from Akermoru on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So everything was going wonderfully until he recently completed his studies. I'm aware that some people may advise us to take things slowly due to our age, but we are both resolute in our decision and committed to building a life together. So here's a little background story. I have been working full-time for 7 months while also studying for a part-time degree. In the meantime, my partner recently graduated and is looking for a job. However, it is challenging for him as a fresh graduate and he is unsure of his next steps. As a result, we are both feeling stressed and anxious about our financial situation. Our elders have always told us that the test of engagement is significant and if we remain strong, we will overcome it. Whenever we hear this phrase, we know we can persevere because we have weathered storms and hurricanes to reach where we are today. We thought those challenges were difficult, but they pale in comparison to our current situation. To make matters worse, my partner has been working as a hitch driver, which is illegal in our country.
Oh,
what is a hitch driver?
I don't know, but also maybe you shouldn't tell on him.
Yeah, right. You're telling the internet right now.
Hitch is long distance ride share, professional driver who connects with riders heading to the same destination. It's like a hitchhiker.
Oh, okay.
Kind of app.
He has a license to drive, but not to pick up and drop off passengers. If he is caught, he could lose his license, face fines, or even be jailed.
Oh my God.
I'm really curious as to where this is. Because
yeah.
I didn't realize.
I didn't
know hitchhiking was illegal.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it is here.
Maybe it's like if you charge them without like a...
Maybe.
I don't know.
Without some sort of license. Interesting. I have repeatedly advised him not to take risks and to find a part-time job until he finds a full-time job that he enjoys. However, his reasoning often outweighs my concerns, so we reached a compromise. He agreed to keep his location on so that I can ensure his safety, and in return, he is allowed to continue hitching as he has done for many years. I trust him to be cautious and avoid any unwanted legal situations. The issue now is that he feels uncomfortable having his location shared as if he's being constantly monitored. I've tried to reassure him that this is solely for my peace of mind. I experience anxiety and fear when he is out there, especially since he is engaged in an illegal activity and driving at night.
Also driving strangers.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
I am not afraid of him, but rather for him, as reckless drivers pose a significant risk, particularly during nighttime hours. My worries prevent me from sleeping soundly until I know his whereabouts and that he is safe. Therefore, he eventually agreed to our arrangement. It was going well for a while until that one night. I was texting him, but he was not replying. I know that he usually replies after 2 or 3 texts, but this time he was quiet and unresponsive. I started texting him after I finished work at 10 p.m. and until 3 a.m. there was no news from him. When I looked at his location, it was at a place where he was not moving. Usually the locations shared are accurate, but this time I was not so sure. My mind was racing and my heart was palpitating so fast that I felt it in my throat. All sorts of scary scenarios ran through my head. I quickly rented a car and went out to find him using his last known location. Finally, he texted me back saying that he was fine. I was angry and upset because I was so scared for him. I did not know what I would have done if he had not been safe and sound. I had thought that perhaps now he is aware that I am out here looking for him, he would find me to calm me down. However, instead, he drove back home, leaving me alone in the eerie night. When he arrived home, he told me to return home and rest since I am now aware that he is safe. I was taken aback. Yes, I understand that I went out of my way to find him, even though he was actually safe, but couldn't he spare a little time to ensure that I am safe as well? Isn't that common courtesy? I find it difficult to articulate, but it deeply upsets me that he did not show the same level of care towards me as I did towards him. When I returned, I expressed to him that his behavior was unacceptable and that I was deeply hurt. His reasoning was that he was tired and could not keep his eyes open any longer. I felt torn, but I'm unsure how to proceed. I questioned the validity of my feelings, but nevertheless, I communicated to him that I am unhappy. He apologized and mentioned that we would talk further on my day off. My day off happened to be on a Saturday, and I had classes that day. We had made plans to meet afterwards, but he informed me that he was feeling unwell.
Likely story.
Naturally, I did not want to compel a sick person to meet me, especially since we needed to discuss some important matters from the past few days. Despite my feelings of frustration, I offered to buy him some food to help him feel better, considering that he is still my fiance. However, he declined my offer. Although I was hurt, I respected his decision. My next day off was on a Tuesday, and I had planned to meet him again. However, he did not respond to my messages, even though I sent several texts in a row. I initially assumed that he was sleeping, but when I checked his location, I noticed that it had been turned off.
Awfully suspicious.
This raised concerns and made me feel anxious about what might be happening. I decided to reach out to his sister to inquire if he was at home, but she informed me that he was not. I then contacted his mother, who mentioned that he had gone out in the morning and she had assumed he was with me. The news left me feeling confused and upset. If he was going out, why didn't he inform me? I sent him another message asking why he was ignoring me and what the matter was. He responded by saying that he had just woken up and was planning to clean the house. I suggested that he send me a short video message to show me that he was indeed at home and cleaning.
This is getting a little bit too on. Maybe he is lying, but I think OP's maybe also overreaching at times a little too much.
I think so. I see
it's getting a little bit
if she's
both.
scared that he's like in an unsafe situation, then I could see that. Send me a video, see that you're okay because I don't trust it. You know what I mean? But a very likely thing that's happening is that he's cheating. And in that case, it's not okay to ask for like a video proof if you're not.
I don't know. It just leans into like lack of trust. And that's something that like you need to have a conversation with.
Right.
Rather than feeding into this, fear of being cheated on by like demanding that they start recording where they're going and making them show you their phone. It's like, it just feeds into it.
Yeah. Like just because like, even if you don't trust them, like you can't ask to do that.
Yeah.
That's still, you could just kind of, at that point, you got to deal with it on your own.
Yeah. It's like either you need to have a conversation where you explain your insecurities and why you're feeling that way. And you talk about what can be done, or you break up. Those are like the two options.
Yeah. He made me feel uneasy for asking, and he openly admitted that he needed some time alone. So he went out to get breakfast and decided to take a stroll. He explained that he didn't want to let me know because he thought I would want to join. This hurt me deeply because I wish he had just been honest about not wanting me to come along rather than hiding it. I was already feeling frustrated from the previous events, and these small untruths made me break down and express my feelings to him. I would have understood his need for some time alone. I just couldn't understand the need to be untruthful. After all, I am his fiance, and I would have respected his space if he had asked. It also felt a bit unfair for him to choose my day off for this, and I was looking forward to talking and working through things together. But something that you can look forward to is joining us live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile. Tap it.
But I think OP is right for being upset, like, because they had established that, they would talk about this on Saturday. But I do think that, like, on the other hand, seems like there's a little bit of like anxious attachment going on here.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of having locations. It feels a little icky to me.
I personally want everyone's locations. I am the opposite, not because I want to, like, I feel the need to know where my partner is or something. Right. I just like to literally have everyone I know's location.
They're fun.
That's just a me thing. But also, I don't think wouldn't say that I'm a jealous or,
right.
Or at least in the one relationship I've had, it hasn't come up.
Right.
But yeah, so I do like having everyone's location services.
No, I think it can be fun sometimes, but it's also like, I don't know, situations like this, I get that.
It depends on why you're asking it for it.
For sure.
Because I think there are some cases where couples get into this kind of unhealthy, where they're like, I want to know because I need to know where you're at all times.
Right.
Whereas for me, it's just like, I've collected another Pokemon.
Right, just like a little game.
Yeah.
But there is more to the story, so let's see what's happening. Honestly, this isn't the first time something like this has happened. He has been untruthful and has made me feel low for a while now, and I'm beginning to realize that I deserve a relationship with honesty and respect. Right now, I'm unsure of how to proceed, especially since I don't fully understand his perspective or reasons for acting this way. However, I feel that being dishonest is not justifiable. I'm working on emotionally distancing myself so that if it eventually comes to a breakup, I'll know that I did my best and perhaps it is for the best. I'm just trying to stay calm and composed, but I could use some advice on how to handle the situation. And that is all she wrote.
I think it's there's a little bit going on both sides. I think that they've been in this relationship since they were 17.
Yeah.
And probably are a little bit codependent. So sometimes you just like realize, this is not your life partner and that's okay.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah. My partner finally proposed without a ring. That's not how you do that. Like my post says, we have been together for 3 years, lived together for 1.5 years. We bought a house together and have a daughter together. I have a 5-year-old from a previous relationship, but her dad isn't in the picture. By the way, this comes from throwaway224466777. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, backstory. We met at work, weren't friends before we started dating. At the beginning of the relationship, he made sure that I want to get married one day, as that was something he definitely wanted in his life. So while I wasn't in a rush to get married, I felt like I had met a guy who wasn't afraid to commit. About a year into the relationship, we were discussing moving in together. We spent 75% of our nights together, so it just seemed logical. He was enthusiastic about the idea, but I had trouble getting him to fully commit and tell me, yes, I want you to move in. I started getting anxious because my lease was about to be up, and per the lease agreement, I had to give 60 days notice before I vacated. I tried several times to get a straight answer from him, but he said I was pressuring him and that my pressure was making him not feel ready. And that's when you kind of look at the relationship and you go, okay, is he ready for a relationship?
that's the kind of phrase that makes me go, I know exactly why this person is writing this story.
Finally, I had a very frank conversation with him. If you don't want to move in together, okay. It won't mean the end of our relationship. However, it will mean that I take a step back and not spend so many nights with him, since it was starting to get confusing, especially if we weren't serious enough yet to live together. Well, a few months after that conversation, I found out I was pregnant. So he asked me to please move in. I said no. If he wasn't ready before this, then a baby doesn't magically fix that. After another month, I finally agreed and we moved my stuff in. We initially had some hiccups, but quickly settled into a routine. We had lived together for about 6 months when he asked me if his cousin could move in with us, with his cousin's wife from out of our province. I had met them before and liked them, so I said that would be fine. How long could it take a working couple to get back on their feet, right? 10 months and many arguments later, they finally moved out. Now here we are, damaged goods. I pretty much hate his cousin for the stress they caused us without remorse. The problem, I want to get married. I know he is the man I want to marry, but he still hasn't asked me to marry him. He has said the only things holding him back are 1, money, and 2, the fact that I brought it up so regularly. Money-wise, I went back to work after staying home with the baby for a few months, and now his cousin is out of the house, but it seems like money is just as big of an issue as ever. I resent his cousin even more now because we are now saving $500 a month on groceries with them gone, which means that over the course of 10 months, we blew $5 to $6K on food for them. Whew. Did I mention they didn't pay rent? As far as me bringing it up, I wrote on the calendar the last time we discussed it so that I would remember not to bring it up. I have promised myself that I will not bring it up for the rest of the year to allow him the chance to think it through without me pestering him. That was 5 weeks ago. Pause. He is gaslighting you into thinking that like he's gonna propose if you just play the right cards and if you follow his rules, or if they have enough money. He doesn't want to propose to you.
Like a proposal or like the getting married or engaged should be like a moment of joy and like togetherness, and it shouldn't be like okay, you've passed the test, now we're allowed.
It should be a conversation where you say, hey, are we at this point? It doesn't seem like he wanted to move in with you. Doesn't seem like he wants to marry you. You need to look at this relationship and see, does he even want to be in this relationship? Is this something that he sees going long term? Because right now it doesn't feel that way. It feels like you guys are a little bit together because you have a kid.
Could be.
Very unfortunately. That's not enough time for me to justly say, he still hasn't said anything, but he still hasn't said anything. What a girl I am, I swear. But I just keep reminding myself that it's not worth mentioning, and I've been really good about it. I know I'm rambling, but all of this is relevant. Basically, now I feel his reasons for not asking are gone, and he still isn't even considering asking. He's not the guy that will secretly plot to surprise me with something romantic. That's just not him.
Oh, so he's a bad partner?
He's not the guy to treat his partner?
Sorry, I mean, like, I guess not doing that doesn't automatically make you a bad partner, but it's like what you just described is like just fundamentally like you care about somebody, so you want to do nice things for them. Like, and you're like, he doesn't do that.
Yeah, and romance doesn't have to mean like he flew you out to Paris. It just means like, hey, did you tell your partner that you love them? Like, come on.
So the spectrum of what you can do under that is so large.
Now I'm getting more and more sure that he just doesn't want to marry me. Before anyone gets all uppity about the fact that I want to get married, yes, I would like to. It is a requirement for me to stay with him. No. But you need to ask yourself if that's true, because that's okay if it is. And it also seems like you have been asking him. It's been on your mind for the year. So you need to figure out if you're going to resent him if he doesn't ask you, because he may never ask you.
It's true. It's like he's already getting exactly what he wants. He's like, now I got to tie up half my assets in it as well. I don't think so.
He told me he wants to remarry. So to me, it scares me that he still doesn't know if he wants to marry me when that's definitely a part of his life plan. We have discussed marriage. He says he knows he wants to marry me. He knows it bothers me that he still hasn't asked. He says he wants to spend the rest of his life with me, but he won't make a move. He doesn't want to get married in a courthouse. He doesn't want to elope. He doesn't want a big wedding. He doesn't want a destination wedding. He said a year ago when I brought it up that he feels like it puts him in a tough position. He knows I love surprises, but he also knows that I need reassurance. He said that he wants to be able to surprise me, but that if he reassures me, then it ruins the surprise. But that was over a year ago. He's making excuses, dude.
This guy's weaponizing his language so hard.
Yeah, I can't surprise you if I comfort you in any way.
Babe, I'm going to reassure you right now. I'm going to marry you sometime in the next 20 years, and you'll never know when it's going to happen.
Ah, you're complaining. You said you want something romantic and surprising, and I tried to do that. What more do I need to do? I tolerated his mooch cousin for almost a year. I am the mother of his child. We have a life and a house together, but he's not sure if he wants to commit to me to the degree of marriage. Am I being stringed along? Yes. Am I being pushy? Probably not. I admit that I brought it up regularly. He's a guy who knows what he wants, so when he said my bringing it up hindered him asking me, I didn't believe him. He always goes for what he wants, no matter what anyone tells him. And there are some comments.
If you know that, then you know that he doesn't want to marry you.
If he wanted to, he would.
But you already know that, which is why you've written this story, which is why you put it on the internet, because you needed the reassurance. I'm not saying that this is bad. A lot of people need this. But you felt instinctively that something was wrong here, and now everybody's about to tell you that something is wrong here.
But there are some comments. Comment 1, you say you'd stay with him even if you don't get married. I would just assume you're not going to get married. Like you say, if he wanted to marry you, he would, regardless of money or what you say or don't say. He doesn't want to marry you. It might have nothing to do with you personally. He might have just decided marriage isn't for him. You have a child, a house, and soon a common law marriage, depending on your province. If he thinks this is somehow less permanent / easier to dissolve than a marriage, the joke's on him. But for you, you have 2 options. He doesn't want to marry you. If that's okay with you and you still want to be with him, then stay with him. Stop asking about marriage. If it's a deal breaker, then leave him. But stop asking about marriage. I think that's actually a great comment. Because you can't pressure him into getting married to you, or at least it won't be healthy for the relationship if he doesn't want to get married to you at the end of the day.
Yeah, because we've all been with someone who's just like, this thing. And we're like, can we not do this thing? But then they just keep going, this thing. And it's like, oh, but I told you not that thing. Let's not do this thing.
The worst part is when you tell them and they say, yeah, I'll do that. And then they keep doing it.
I think you just have to be like, you got to stop asking and you got to set yourself a timeline. If he doesn't ask me to marry him by this time, then I don't want to continue the relationship.
What's the over-under that this guy got red-pilled and is not marrying because he's like, well, I have to look after my own interests? It's very fishy.
Opie says, the thing that has me so hung up on it, though, is the fact that he insists he wants marriage and has said so from the get-go and many times since. It worries me that he doesn't want marriage with me, but does want marriage. Does that make sense? I think he's telling you what you want to hear so that you stay with him. Honestly, I think he wants to stay with you, but he doesn't want to get married with you.
OP learning what lying is right now.
Comment 2, oh my gosh, it must be hard to wait like that. I understand you must feel vulnerable and also like you've been waiting forever. I can't give you perfect advice, only tell you what I would do. Don't make getting married a goal you have to work toward. Make building a marriage a goal you are working towards. Build that connection. Build that relationship and build that marriage. Then the actual party and ring and all of that will be a happy addition, not something you need in order to validate your relationship to yourself. I think that I would probably focus on the things that show you he's committed. The way he makes your house feel like a home, the things he does for your children, the things he says that make you feel loved, the way he helps and things about your life together that you particularly enjoy. Then show appreciation for those. Tell him you love that he's committed to you and you really appreciate him and the relationship that you're in just as it is. Mean it. Then I would focus on being somebody he'd want to commit to, not in terms of meaning a checklist of marriage requirements, but being inside yourself, a person who would be lovely to share life with. Find those parts of yourself and give them to him. Living in a difficult circumstance can end up with those parts of you a little bit missing. This really isn't about what more you need to do, because that's not how this should work. But that being said, you should be more than just a house co-owner, a co-parent, and a tolerator of family. You should be a partner as well. I would think that focusing on what makes him a good partner, appreciating this and letting him know, and concentrating on being a good partner will be the most rewarding thing you could possibly do. Waiting must feel so long and interminable, but he doesn't sound like he's stringing you along. I kind of disagree with that. He sounds like the both of you have had a rough time of it lately. Try taking time off from trying to move the relationship forward and try to enjoy solidifying and enjoying where it's at. And there is an update.
That comment really let him off the hook.
Really let him off the hook. Like, in parts, I understand what they're saying, and I somewhat agree. Like, yeah, you know, you can't just force a relationship to like turn into a marriage.
In the context of a healthy relationship, all of that made perfect sense.
But we're missing the big thing here.
I have suspicions about OP's boyfriend. Yeah, I think just
like the fact that the whole like moving in stuff, that was weird too.
Moving in was weird, and the weirdest thing to me is the way that he's like, oh, well, the fact that you keep bringing up marriage is making me like not do it. So it's like, just stop talking about that. And then maybe it'll happen. And then maybe you stop talking about it forever and you never get married.
What he should say is like, I'm not at that space. Like, that's an answer, not, oh, you bringing it up makes me not want to get married.
His response is literally like 10-year-old boy level response. Just like, just stop saying that, dude.
But there is an update. So I had posted here a few months ago about my now fiance and myself. He finally popped the question a couple of weeks ago. It was us and the kids at home, very simple and laid back, but it was beautiful. He said he had wanted to wait until the holidays passed and that he had been trying to figure out a way to go about doing it, but was coming up blank. So maybe we should stop overthinking it and just move forward. Of course I said yes. Couldn't think of a single thing that my now fiance would enjoy. So I just did nothing.
You might as well live in a tent made out of red flags.
Again, you don't have to like do something crazy expensive, but like you should know your partner a little bit.
You should also know yourself and know your worth.
Yeah, to know what your partner would want to be proposed to.
The person you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with just said, I don't even know what you like, but I guess I'll just tell you. I've heard the opposite of this story before, where it's like a guy trying to propose and like the proposal is just like never good enough, even though it was like so super thoughtful. Antithesis of that.
The thing is, I didn't even give her a ring. Of course I said yes. To me, it was everything I had ever wanted. When he proposed, he did so without a ring. He gave her a shut the F up ring without the ring part. He said he felt overwhelmed trying to pick it out and couldn't figure out my size anyway.
This guy, don't marry this guy.
He put in zero effort. He said, I didn't even know what you wanted. So instead of asking any of the people in your life around you, I just didn't do anything.
Is it possible to put in negative effort? Because if it is, that this guy did that.
So he suggested we pick it out together, which will be a fun adventure. He's a marketing genius. He's like, I thought it would be way better if you picked it out and I was there.
However, you don't have no ring at the beginning. You propose with a ring, and then you're like, all right, the real deal ring, we're going to go pick out together because I want it to be something you love.
I've never gotten to shop for fancy jewelry. I had to go on a few websites and dig around to even have an idea of what I like because I'm so clueless. So he doesn't even know. I feel hurt that he hasn't suggested we go look. He hasn't sent me any links of items he thinks are nice, despite it being a slow time and work and him regularly saying that he has lots of free time. So again, you're picking out your own ring completely. He's not even a part of the process. It's not even a fun adventure. It's just you going online and picking out a ring.
OP, leave this man and get married to somebody who actually loves and cares about you, please.
He did mention he thinks I should look on eBay for a ring.
Stop. Leave this man. Everyone should be screaming at you at the top of their lungs to leave this man.
And also asked if I could get my sister to give up the heirloom bridal set she has in her possession so we don't have to buy a ring. He hasn't mentioned any ideas as far as what we should do when we get married.
Hey, OP's fiance, I went over to the Bad Partner Factory. They love you over there. You're the blueprint at the Bad Partner Factory.
And any mention I make is met with, how much will that cost? I work and have every intention of footing most, if not all, of the bill of whatever we end up doing. It seems as though if this takes too much energy or time or any money at all, he's uninterested. That includes the very act of getting a ring. This is rambling and I apologize. My main concerns are these. I'm worried that he didn't mean the proposal. He didn't. He decided that he was tired of me being bummed out about it and went for it. He says that a ring is not in the budget right now. To give a clear picture, the ones I've been looking at are $900 to $1,500 for the full bridal set. But he sold an expensive item, think $650 on consignment, and turned around and bought something new with that money. So he's not even trying. I did talk to him about why this hurt my feelings, but he said I'm being a typical woman and overthinking two totally unrelated topics. He said that the new item costs $75 more than the old, so it's a wash. So instead, again, of selling this item and buying his fiance a ring, he bought a over $700 thing that he probably didn't need.
Do not normalize this man's behavior. This is like if an 18-year-old was getting married, even they would have more sense. This is just someone getting married to you to make you shut up.
He expects a good chunk of cash in the next couple of months, and before was mentioning that's when he would get the ring. But now he is saying he plans to use that money for other stuff. No mention of the ring at all anymore. I suppose this is what I get for being worried about him not proposing. He proposed, but now isn't enthused about it, and I'm back to square one. Please just tell me I'm being a shallow person for worrying about this. In my mind, I guess I thought he would have tried to save up some money for a ring,
or that since he proposed without one, he would be gung-ho to make sure we get that taken care of. It's not the ring that I'm worried about. It's the general disinterest. I'm starting to consider saving up to buy my own ring because he's so disinterested.
OP, sweetie. Now I think the opposite. I think your instincts are screaming at you that it's wrong, but you want someone to tell you it's okay.
OP's literally saying, tell me I'm being shallow. You're not.
This person is terrible, and you deserve better.
I am a romantic at heart, and while I knew that he was not the kind of guy to do any sort of grand gesture and that a surprise was out of the question, I still find myself hurt that he still is giving this no thought whatsoever. Once this guy is interested in a topic, he dives in and finds out everything he can. He asks questions and does his homework. As far as I know, he's never done that relating to the engagement. I am content with how the proposal went down, but was for some reason holding out hope that he would dive into the wedding and engagement talk rather than continue on his usual apathetic regarding this topic path. Are you guys even talking about the wedding either?
I would doubt it. He's like, yeah, can we just do it in the backyard?
Since my last post, we have begun seeing a counselor to work on our communication, and things are much better. My fiancé is of the opinion that if things were going really well, we would never argue. I disagree with that. Although I think we can work to understand each other better, be more receptive to hearing about each other's concerns and feelings, and to not have such dramatic arguments. They are infrequent, but in my opinion, no argument should get to the point of yelling because it's pointless. I agree. And I also agree that you guys can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. And there is a little bit left to the story.
I don't even have anything to add other than leave. Or at the very least, don't get married.
The thing is that you should not be fiancés if you're in counseling right now for these issues.
For OP's case, aren't you exhausted? You keep pushing and it's like you're pushing against a wall, and
you're the only one trying to fix this relationship. He doesn't care.
You should know your worth. It's like the fact that no one is defending you or no one's helping you. Get out of that. That's what I feel bad about too.
They're both settling in a relationship that, one, he doesn't seem to care about, and she is not being, treated correctly. And they're both settling in this.
He's not valuing you and you're not valuing yourself.
Generally, when the arguments result in yelling, it is because one of us is dismissing how the other feels. He says that I voice my concerns too much and that there are many, many topics he chooses not to address with me. Issues he may be having with my behavior and whatnot. So that tells me that he feels nitpicked, but also that he isn't helping me to be the best partner I can be by letting me know when I do things to hurt him. Instead, he just keeps them to himself.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard someone say. So unbelievably dumb.
I am 100% sure it is because I'm doing something wrong. So any guidance, suggestions, or tips from anyone, especially males, would be so greatly appreciated. Comment 1. If you don't have either 1, a ring, or 2, an actual date set for a wedding, then you don't really have an engagement. The ring shows a financial commitment towards getting married. A wedding date shows a firm commitment to actually getting married. You don't necessarily need both of these, but if you don't have at least one, then all you really have from him is an empty promise about getting married at some point in the future with no real commitment to work towards doing it. He's doing the exact same thing that he said before he did the proposal of being like, yeah, I'm really interested in getting married. Except now he's just said, do you want to get married? That's it. He's done nothing else.
And I guarantee you, OP took that and was like, yes, finally, that's what I want. He's done it. I changed him.
I'd suggest pressing him to get an actual date set for the wedding. No, leave him. OP, he was talking about us getting married this summer. No sense in delaying it in his mind. But when I mention ideas for a wedding, he says that we don't have the money. I crudely planned a $10,000 wedding, including the engagement and wedding rings, just looking at random venues and menus and such to get a ballpark idea of what a wedding will cost. His response was, I don't have $10,000. I said that I work and would be covering at least half. He said that he doesn't even have $5,000 for a wedding.
But you know what, boy? I heard that. Give me $1,000 wedding tops.
Okay, I suggest we wait until next year. I could more easily frugal it up and really get the price down. Plus, we could not do it in summer and it would be even cheaper. I want our anniversary to be in the warm months, summer months, not when it's cold. Oh, so that's what he's saying. So my efforts in that area have been pointless. He says that I need to relax. It's only been a couple of weeks and we don't need a rush. But then he still mentions getting hitched this year as though that wouldn't involve some level of preparation. Mention of the ring is a touchy subject because he won't have the funds for at least 6 weeks. But that was before he started talking about using the money for other things. And that's the end of this.
Leave this man. Please tell me that you left, girl. Even if you take marriage out of it, period, if he's acting like that about anything that you really want in your relationship, That's just someone who does not care about you at all. And you should not be in a partnership with this individual because they literally treat you like second fiddle. My sister is furious that I'm proposing to my boyfriend without considering her feelings.
Yeah, maybe you should have done it first, sister.
So, I, 26 female, am planning to propose to my boyfriend, 27 male. We've been dating for 4 years now, and he's the most important person in my life. We've discussed marriage. He was always very eager to propose and has been saving money for some time, I think. He's an artist and doesn't really make that much, but he's way too proud to let me pitch in. By the way, this comes from user throwawayring947, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, well, around last month, his mom had a surgery. I won't go into details, but it cost his parents quite a lot. She doesn't have insurance. I don't know why. He transferred them money from his own savings as well, but didn't tell me that. I even offered to help. That day, I found him crying in our room. He told me all of this and kept on apologizing that the money he was saving for the ring had to go into helping his mom, and now he can't propose on our anniversary like he was planning to. It was so heartbreaking for me to see him like that, to be honest. I don't give a dang about that ring. I want to marry this guy, and I'd have done that in a courthouse if he'd agree. I told him all of that, but for him, things like these are important. I actually kind of yelled at him as well for worrying about the wrong reason. LOL. He told me to give him some time as he wants to get me the best he can. Well, I've decided to propose on our anniversary. I'm doing it on a beach we used to visit a lot as kids back in our hometown, and I'm picking up the ring next week. Here comes my sister, 28 female. She's had multiple failed relationships and still lives with our parents. She saw me looking at a ring photo when she was visiting me this Christmas, so I told her I was planning to propose at the beach. She went silent for a minute and asked me if I was kidding her.
Stop. He's proposing.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah.
I miss that. That's really cute.
Apparently, she caught her boyfriend of 2 years with someone else on that same beach and hates that place now. I wasn't aware of this. I also wasn't aware that it was your sister who's getting married.
Yeah. Why does that matter? I'm sorry. Does she have claim over every beach now?
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, sorry, you can't get married in the church because one time I went to church and it wasn't fun. It was really boring.
This breakup she had was in September, and back then she told me he was cheating and she left him. And now she wants me to cancel this whole thing and do it somewhere else. I admit when her relationship ended, she did take it pretty hard. We all liked him, and my sister was convinced he was the one, so the breakup was really bad for her. Yes, it sucks what happened to her, but I don't know why that should affect my plans. Me and my boyfriend visit that place every time we're there, and it holds some importance for both of us. She's now calling me selfish and saying I only want to hurt her by reminding her of that trauma. She then proceeds to talk about my boyfriend and how he can't propose and should be ashamed. I shut that down quickly and told her to drop that topic. The rest of the day, she was moody, and when she left, she was crying and called me heartless. She's now texting me and saying getting engaged isn't important enough, and I need to change the destination. I need advice on how to deal with her. Am I really in the wrong here? All I know is I'm not changing the location whether I'm wrong or not. I'm kind of guilty, but that's just because we've been close since we were kids, and I don't really want to hurt her. Should I comfort her or something, or is she being unreasonable? Also, she lives with our parents, and we are close too, so cutting her off isn't an option. And there's an edit, as some have mentioned in the comments, that this proposal might be emasculating to my boyfriend. I know him, and if it was actually something I'd be, quote, taking away from him, I'd obviously never do it. We wanted to be engaged on our 5-year anniversary, and I think that's what he was guilty about. Plus, some stress about his mom's health. Thanks for the concern, but I know he'll love it. And another edit, thank you for the response, but I've seen some comments accusing my boyfriend and his parents of being immature and selfish. What?
Your boyfriend's mom who's having a medical surgery is selfish.
Yeah. How dare you have an ailment?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So let's see
That
how
is something.
Let's
That
see
is
how OP
something.
addresses
Yeah.
these charlatans. This is completely false. Be kind here, please. His parents are lovely people. Yes, they're struggling financially, and my boyfriend decided to help his parents. I would have been mad if my boyfriend decided to spend his money on a ring instead of helping his mom. About the insurance thing, I only know half of the story, and it's not because his parents are immature. I'll be talking to him about this later on, and he didn't spend all his savings. His actual savings are separate from the money he was saving for the ring.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't want to spend all of his savings on a ring in general. I doubt you don't want to go through all of your savings to buy a ring. There are many other important things to do when you're, getting
This
into
is true.
about to get married, son.
This is true. Buy appliances.
If you're breaking the bank to get a ring right before you get married, maybe you guys are not, ready to get married.
Okay, another edit. Y'all, I'm proposing tomorrow. I did talk to his mom about it just to make sure I'm doing the right thing by proposing, and she agrees. Wish me luck. Update. After that incident, my sister called me 2 days later asking if I'd finally realized how insensitive I've been to her and said she wants me to apologize. Yeah, exactly. I told her, yes, she's my family and I love her, but she can't expect everyone to work according to her feelings. I didn't tell her if I was still going ahead with the plan because honestly, I was afraid she would try to ruin it or something. Probably a good instinct there, OP. I hung up and refused to answer when she called back. I took the advice and refused to share any details with my parents or her. They called the same day asking me to care for my sister's feelings as well. I wasn't expecting much from my parents anyway. They just want us at peace and don't really care. Now, on to the proposal. We were visiting a friend in our hometown who just had a baby and stayed there overnight. We went to the beach and, well, I proposed. It went exactly how I wanted it to be. We were walking. I then got on one knee and started my speech about how I'm in love and stuff. I kid you not, I wasn't even 30 seconds in when he hugged me and got emotional. It was so beautiful. I couldn't stop smiling. He was so happy with the ring that I selected, and we said some sweet words and got all emotional. It was perfect. He also said how he loved that it happened at the beach. So yes, my sister can go screw herself. And wouldn't it have been hilarious if he was like, I love that you chose this beach where your sister got broken up at.
Oh God, this is my favorite beach. One time I was here and your sister got broken up with.
And I feel like us getting, engaged here like really resets the energy on the beach.
Exactly. It's kind of like saging the beach.
Yeah, we've saged the beach with our proposal.
Emotionally, yeah.
We've saved the beach. Woo. We then went out to dinner and he couldn't stop smiling. He even told the waitress, my girlfriend just proposed to me. I'm engaged. So yeah, whatever doubt I had about him not liking being proposed vanished. We had a great night. Later, when we were about to go to sleep, I did ask him if he really was okay with me proposing because of how upset he was about the ring. He told me he was upset because he felt like he was letting me down by not getting a ring and instead helping his mom. She's doing good, by the way. And he still says he wants a ring on my finger soon. We talked stuff out and we're good. I couldn't have asked for a better day. Now, the original plan was to go visit my parents after we were done visiting our friends, but I wasn't sure because of the whole thing going on with my sister. So I called my parents and told them I'm engaged. They did congratulate us, but were not happy because I haven't been answering their calls. I asked them if those were calls to make me change my mind about the proposal, and they said yes. I told them obviously that wasn't happening.
What?
They're like, we're all happy that you're engaged, except why didn't you answer our calls?
And I was like, I was busy getting engaged. And they're like, well, the calls were about how you shouldn't get engaged.
Yes. The calls were about how we hate the way that you got engaged.
So maybe you should have listened to them. Yikes. Icky. Sticky.
I asked them if they still wanted me to visit them, and they said yes. My sister then called saying she can't believe how petty and immature I'm being, and how I just had to go ahead and ruin her day. I didn't even mention the engagement to her. My mom did. Wasn't my problem, and I won't be changing my plans because of her inability to deal with her emotions. She then said, congratulations on your engagement. Don't worry, it won't last.
Oh my God. Why are you
What?
being so mean? What the heck?
I just hung up the phone. So it's safe to say we won't be talking for the foreseeable future. But by the way, you can listen for the foreseeable future to full episodes with stories like this. You can listen for 53 consecutive days on Spotify and iHeartRadio and Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime.
So true.
And you've got it all in
Got
the
it
palm of
all.
your hand, the power of the sun. There is a little bit of story left here.
My final
Yes.
thing is I think you could have maybe one more conversation with either sister or parents, or maybe get them all there and say, just like, hey, I mean, I understand that you guys didn't want this engagement to happen here.
Yeah.
but it really is no bearing on our relationship. It's a place. That's
exactly.
it. Like, do you guys have anything to say about my relationship? Is there anything there that you're worried about? Because if not, then, is this really a problem that you want to kind of blow up our family over?
It's true. Okay, but let's finish the rest of the story. We didn't visit our parents, and we spent the next day with our friends as well, and then left. My parents don't blame me, but want me to fix this because you know how your sister is. I'm done with her though. I was guilty only because I actually felt like I was hurting her, but she had no problem talking crap about my boyfriend and my engagement. But, well, I have a fiance. Have a good day. Ooh, there's a super quick little micro update here. We're married. He got me a ring as well. It's effing gorgeous. We got married at a beach. Not the same one, though. And it was beautiful. And that is the end.
That's so sweet.
Of that story.
I do hope that at one point your sister can get over her kind of just thinking about life so negatively. And she's worrying about the minutia that has no bearing on the happiness of your relationship currently.
Well, it just feels like she clearly picked up a really negative, I don't know if it's a coping mechanism or what, but just and then the parents being like, you know how your sister is. It's like, yeah, you made her that way.
Well, the thing is also just the parents not calling her out on her behavior is not going to help anyone.
Right. It's like, you can't just be like,
you know how she is. It's okay.
Yeah,
I also know how you guys are because you're just letting her get away with everything.
Exactly. My girlfriend's mom ruined my proposal. She spilled the bean.
Beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot.
She tooted all over the place. So, for context, my girlfriend, 31 female, let's call her Linda, and I, 32 male, have been dating for over 3 years now and have been living together for the past 2. Her family has gotten to know me through various family functions, parties, and holidays, and have always been absolutely wonderful. By the way, this comes from user FrontU761, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, her parents welcome us over from time to time to play games with them and have dinners together, and we always have a great time chatting about life and making each other laugh. I've been around them enough to know them fairly personally, which I love because of how great they are. Her mom and I even have a running joke where whenever we're about to leave, she yells, "I love you," and I yell it back really loudly. She said it to me one day while we were on our way out the door and I didn't hear, so she got all self-conscious about it since I didn't respond the first time, and I felt so bad that I decided to yell it back, hence the running joke. I do love Linda's family and have no problem telling them that. Linda, on the other hand, I love and adore more than anything in the entire world, and I can't imagine spending the rest of my life with anyone else. So naturally, we've been talking about getting engaged and getting married. I always knew I'd want to ask the parents of whoever I wanted to marry for approval or permission to marry their daughter, so Linda and I had that discussion as well, which she thought was very sweet. So about 3 weeks ago, I ordered the ring that she liked the most out of the ones we shopped for. The week after, I started a group text with her parents asking if they would be okay if I could come over sometime in the coming few days to talk and to please keep it between just us. This is important. I guess I already had a group chat with them from the last time I texted them both, so I just added on to that. The last message I sent was a link to a USB extension cord on Amazon for their gaming system. Her mom responded to my message saying, "Is the USB extension top secret?" She thought I was joking, but she was actually serious since she thought I was talking about the previous message I sent a few weeks before, and we laughed it off. They suggested that we meet up for lunch, which I agreed to, and had the talk. It went extremely well, and when I asked them permission to marry their daughter, I got a big old smile from her dad, who extended his hand for a firm handshake, and her mom teared up a bit, exclaiming how excited they were and voicing their approval. The rest of the lunch went well, talking over little details like if we had a timeline in mind for the wedding, blah, blah, blah. Linda's mom was so excited, and I'm guessing she knew what I wanted to talk about. She was very quickly asking if we had a place in mind and proceeded to show me a picture of a wedding venue she had saved in her phone. Not too sure how long that photo had been saved or if she had it ready for the talk, but she was clearly excited, to say the least. She wanted so badly to talk about her daughter, about our talk that day, and I just let them know she was at work and I kind of didn't want her to know. I love surprising Linda with things all the time, but this was definitely the most important. Her mom was so visibly giddy that I decided to let up on that rule I set anyway. After all, I'm almost 99% positive Linda knew what I was doing that day and why. She gave me fun little hints through text like, quote, let me know how the lunch with my parents goes. I really want to know what they say. I mean, have fun with whatever you're doing today. A little winky face. My only stipulation to her parents during that talk was that we keep it between us, besides their daughter, and I didn't want anyone else knowing, especially family. Like I said before, I wanted the engagement to be a surprise, other than having her mom call Linda on the way home from work to express her excitement. Here's where the problem starts. A day or two later, Linda receives a text from one of her mom's friends saying, congratulations on your engagement. She immediately told me about it, and I'll admit I was a little upset. She talked to her mom later that day, and apparently she only told 2 of her friends. We were both kind of mad at that point, but we both agreed it wasn't family, so we brushed it off. Linda reiterated to her mom that no one else was to know about our talk because we aren't actually engaged yet. Her mom said she just wanted to tell those 2 people, and that was it. And I thought that was the end of it. Fast forward to Easter weekend, we went over to her parents for dinner. Her brother and brother's wife were also invited, and her grandfather was there as well. We were all seated on the couch after our meal, and with the way it's set up, I was having a conversation with Linda, her mom, her brother, and his wife. Grandpa and her dad were having a separate conversation talking about what was on TV. Her mom then starts talking about this cryptic text I sent her a few weeks ago, asking to come and see them. And she thought it was about setting up the USB cord and how she was confused. I thought maybe she would just stop there, but she kept going into detail. She said I only wanted to talk to them and not let Linda know about it. And at this point, Linda and I are staring at each other in a bit of shock, like, what do we do? As she continued to give away details about us going to meet somewhere, I tried mouthing to her mom to stop ever so slightly, which I'm almost positive she didn't see. Linda and I are now visibly uncomfortable at this point since her brother and his wife were intently listening, and her brother obviously has picked up on what she's talking about and notices mine and Linda's displeasure. This is strange to me.
Yeah.
Where is the displeasure coming from?
I'm a little confused.
The only relevant party in terms of like getting engaged is your partner. And I guess to OP, also the parents, because you wanted to ask permission. Why are we caring how everyone else finds out about this?
Well, because I think it hasn't even happened yet.
I mean, sure. Okay, let's be real.
Yeah.
We're not engaged yet. Okay, but like, you've already told Linda knows you're going to propose.
Yeah.
The parents have given you the approval.
Yeah.
You literally already bought the ring that you guys both went out and shopped for together.
Yeah.
Y'all are not fooling yourselves. Y'all know you're getting engaged.
I don't want to be engaged unless I've gone ring shopping or my partner like knows that I want to be engaged.
I said something along the lines of, we were meeting to talk about gift ideas to save the conversation. And her mom looks at me confused and continues to tell her story.
Girl, take a hint.
I can't remember how far her mom actually got, but then Linda's brother expertly steers the conversation away from that and exclaims, it's time to get some games going, and gets up to help set up the console. At this point, Linda and her mom are talking under their breath to each other, and obviously the conversation is a little heated. Her mom leaves the room, and Linda looks at me disappointed. Later, when we got home, Linda explained she told her mom we didn't want anyone knowing again, and her mom didn't see what the big deal was. Her mom apparently told Linda that her brother already knew, which is highly improbable because the only people that did know were my parents, who live many states away and have no way of contacting them. And if they did contact her parents, they would most certainly ask, and her mom's 2 friends. The only explanation we could think up was that I've expressed my interest to her brother in wanting to marry Linda before, but he didn't know about my conversation with her parents or the fact that I bought the ring. Later that night, Linda's brother texted me saying he's sorry their mom spilled the beans, so to speak, but he's very excited for us and thinks I'm great for her. I expressed my gratitude and asked politely if he and his wife would please not tell anyone else, which he agreed. Over the past few days, Linda has expressed how upset she's been about it, and her mom has since told her she will shut her mouth about it now and is acting distant. We've both agreed that it doesn't matter the reason we don't want anyone else to know. It's the fact that it's our decision to keep it between the few of us until the proposal actually happens. The fact is that we aren't officially engaged yet, and we don't want the breath taken out of the moment. We also know that regardless of whatever happens, we're going to be happy and excited to finally be engaged and get married to one another. But are we going too far with not wanting others to know? On the other hand, I know her mom is excited for her only daughter, and I truly love how excited she is. The spark she showed in her eyes when I asked if I could marry Linda was so indicative of her love for her daughter and excitement for what's to come. I don't know what that feeling is like because I'll never be a mother, and it makes me feel like we are in the wrong for letting her be happy for her daughter. So am I, or are we overreacting? And there is an update. I mean, you could be annoyed.
Yeah.
I've spoken.
Yeah.
I have spoken.
We have spoken. Now the chat needs to speak.
Yeah,
what do we think?
You're free to be annoyed. I wouldn't blow up anything over this.
Yeah, me too. But I get it. Yeah, you could be like, what the heck? Let's shut up.
At this point, y'all both know y'all are getting married. So
yeah, that's not going to change.
Now it's just more like, guys, shut up. Linda's mom actually wound up sending her a message yesterday, and she showed it to me. To be brief, she apologized and stated she was sorry for overstepping our boundaries and what we wanted, and she promises not to do it in the future. She seemed very sincere in the message and apologized fairly profusely since she knew Linda was upset with her. Thankfully, it didn't seem at all like she was just apologizing to avoid more confrontation. She said she understands now where we are coming from and is more or less upset with herself for not taking our request for discretion as seriously as we stated. And by the way, I'm seriously stating that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify or iHeartRadio or Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime. So we do have a little bit more story left. I like it.
Yeah.
Mom's apologizing.
It seems like it's working out. You were annoyed, but we finally got through to the mom to be quiet. And then we can forget about it for a few months, hopefully. And then it'll be all right.
Yeah, you've already got permission. Now just wait for that perfect, unsuspecting moment.
Exactly.
Ambush her at the DMV.
Oh,
that's truly the last place you would expect
that
to
really
be proposed
is.
to.
That really is. Wow.
Yes. Don't do that, please.
Don't do that.
I'm happy to say things are finally back to normal. Thanks to all that were able to comment, I took your advice to heart. And we will certainly keep in mind to share future big life events at a more appropriate time with her moving forward. Also, thanks for making Linda and me feel like we aren't crazy. Cheers.
Cheers.
And then a little heart. And that is the end of that story.
Well, everything seemed to work out in the end.
My fiance just proposed. I told him to get me a new ring.
If he liked it, he should have put a good ring on it.
Clarification. So I, female 26, and my now fiance, male 29, have been together for a year and a half now. After years of trying and failing on online dating, I was determined that I would meet someone in person to succeed in dating. However, some friends at work convinced me one day to make a profile on Facebook dating, which I didn't even know was a thing at the time. As God would have it, he is the very first person I matched with.
The first person that you match with on Facebook dating can't be that good.
You know what they say, first is the best.
The we're best?
Yep.
I don't think I've heard that one.
Yes. From the moment we started talking, things just came so naturally between us. By the way, this comes from Total Present 7043 on the r/Charlotte Dubray YouTube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit and send them in. So, a year and a half later, our families have met and fallen in love with each other. Families fell in love with each other?
How in love?
Our friend groups have merged. I can never see us going back to how it was before. He's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me.
Well, that's nice.
It's gonna work out perfectly.
They're gonna get married.
This is it. So like there's no more.
This is the person they're gonna spend the rest of their life with.
No.
What?
Something's gonna happen, and something's gonna happen.
That's all I gotta say.
Now, on to some content before addressing the issue. For the first year of our relationship, he was convinced that he would not propose / get married to me without at least 2 years of dating first.
That's fair. That's fair.
This is fair.
That's very reasonable.
After talking about it further, he confessed that he had a negative view of marriage due to how he grew up. His mom had been through 2 previous marriages. She was on the 3rd by the time that we had started dating. She's happily married now to her 3rd, but in his eyes, marriage meant that the relationship would eventually deteriorate. He said he saw this in his biological and first stepfather. They stopped loving and caring for his mom like they would before they were married. So his thought was that once we got married, he would do the same and hurt me / us.
But you see, this is kind of a causation correlation thing. Because the fact that the relationships failed wasn't because they got married, it's because they were bad at the relationship.
Yeah, this kind of feels like saying like, one time I saw a man not have water and become dehydrated. Therefore, I am going to be dehydrated.
Yes.
But guess what, Sophia?
No, not today. Good
You
stuff.
can hydrate, brother. So you can hydrate and you can migrate your feelings back to your partner because you will stay in love with them. I made it work. So it took us working through it in counseling and him seeing my parents' relationship to get him to open up and see that marriage can be beautiful and a true partnership. I was thrilled when he began opening up more and was willing to discuss our possible wedding wants/desires and our plans for our future together. Now, during this time, we went to our state fair.
Oh, never go to a state's fair.
Now, it's something that he never grew up doing, whereas I went every year as a child, so I had to share it with him. This was our second time going, so he knew the place that he wanted to hit first, and this included the convention center. Vendors usually set up here from local businesses. They advertise and sell their stuff with Southern charm. As we were pursuing the stalls, we came across a jewelry stand, and I started trying on rings of every design just to get an idea of what I liked. I told him the whole time that if he felt uncomfortable, we could walk away and I would not press the issue, but he was a trooper and he let me try on all the rings I wanted to my heart's content. After about 10 minutes, I came across a ring that reminded me of my great-grandmother's, vintage style with a princess cut in the middle and a matching wedding band, see picture included. It was only $85 since it was stainless steel with Cupid zirconium stones. This will be important later, I promise. And also I see you.
Uh-oh.
I think I see you.
He's going to get like a $10 ring from unnamed corporation.
Time goes on, and out of the blue, a couple of months ago, my mom starts taking me for a girls' day every 2 weeks to get lunch and get our nails done. I was suspicious, so I asked her, and she told me the truth.
Why? Sorry, continue.
He was planning to propose some point in the near future. He had spoken to her about getting her and my father's blessing, and she was determined to make sure that I had pretty nails, quote unquote, for when he did pop the question. I wasn't allowed to know when it was, so we started getting our nails done in February, so that way I would not know when it was coming. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Okay.
This meant I got time to spend with my mom, just the two of us, and his proposal would still be a surprise. And boy, was it! Now, something to know about my fiance is he is a very introverted and private man. Whenever it comes to big emotions and talking about our feelings, it is something to be done just the two of us without a crowd to see. And his proposal reflected just that. We came home from grocery shopping, made dinner together in the kitchen like usual, and then he went to the bedroom and comes back with a big bouquet of sunflowers, my favorite, and asked if I would be his sunflower forever. Where's your reaction?
OP seems to like this. Does it read like a high school prom proposal?
Hey, listen.
But OP seems to like it, and that's all that matters.
So I, of course, said yes and began to cry as he swept me in his arms. And the ring in the box, the ring I bought at the state fair that brought me to tears, he had gotten it from my mom, who snuck in from my door box to get it cleaned. After slipping it on my hand, taking a few pictures and a few extra kisses, we called my parents to share the news with them. They invited us on a date night. They were having the next night to celebrate and show off the ring. Now, the moment we've been waiting for. Now, here is where the surprise continued, but the issue arose. Mom and dad's date night, total BS.
They're divorced.
Oh God. It turned out to be a giant gathering of my family and his and all of our friends together to celebrate.
Oh. It's lovely.
Is this good, bad?
No, that was nice.
Yeah,
so far.
Right? They've been planning this party just as long as he had been planning the proposal. I walked into a receiving line of about 23 excited guests offering congratulations and asking to see my ring. Among them, my future sister-in-law. Now, she's a very nice girl, but I will say she is a bit materialistic. She likes her clothes and her purse is high-end, and she was always looking to humble brag whenever she gets a compliment on them. She looked at my ring and squealed, "Oh, it's so beautiful." But after a couple of seconds of her looking at it closer, she openly stated, "Oh, I guess you don't care about real diamonds, do you?"
I guess you don't care about keeping your mouth shut, but minding your own dang business.
Ooh.
If OP wants to be gifted a ring that she already bought and was then stolen from her, that is her right. Don't comment on it.
She loves it.
She loved it. It made her
loves
cry
it.
because she picked it out and bought it. Did he refund her?
No, Sophia. That would ruin the magic. Of course. So, to say my flabbers were gasted would be an understatement. Thankfully, I was the only person who heard it since we were somewhat away from the group and thankfully away from my fiance. I explained to her that I didn't care about an overly expensive ring with real diamonds and that it was the ring that made me happy. She said, well, as long as you're happy, with all the fake Southern charm that I know all too well from growing up. Now, at the time, I didn't let it get to me and I enjoyed the rest of the evening. But now, a week after the proposal, I don't know what to think. I talked it over with my mom, and I guess what irks me more than anything isn't the fact that it doesn't have real diamonds. It's the fact that I bought my own engagement ring.
Yeah. Should irk you a little bit.
Sophia, are you telling me?
Yeah.
Or is what you're saying right now?
That's what I'm saying.
If a woman buys a ring for herself, then her partner steals that ring and gives it back to her and making sure not to refund her.
Yeah.
You're telling me that might not be a cash money move.
It just might not be. It just may not be a cash money move, John.
I'm shocked.
No, this is so chill. I like it.
So I know that my fiance was trying to be romantic and used the ring that reminded me so much of my great grandmother's. And to be honest, I do love this ring. However, I picked it out and paid for it, not thinking of it as an engagement ring. I'm a bit of a traditional girl, and I do think that a man should pick out the ring, even if he needs a little help to know what designs to look for. For context, we are currently saving money to buy a house after we get married in October of this year. We have about $10,000 saved so far, with my parents offering to match whatever we have by October 1st, so we can put that as a down payment on a house of our choosing. Now, if you were to get me a new ring, I definitely would not want something that would break our savings. It could be stainless steel and cubic zirconium, just like the one I'm wearing now, or of course it could be white gold and moissanite to save money. I hope I said that right. I'm not a materialistic girl by any means. So I am ready to accept any and all judgment for this, but would I be the a-hole if I asked my fiance to get a new ring? We have an update, but Sophia.
Ooh.
We got to talk.
The thing is, I don't think that OP is necessarily the a-hole for feeling this way. Because I think a lot of people in the comments are saying, like, why didn't she bring it up in the first place if she was, if she was feeling this way? Like, she seems to have changed her mind. But I do think probably she was overcome with emotion and was like, oh my God, I'm getting proposed to. And she's like, I did like the ring. But now it's reflecting on it, which is, when most of our thoughts happen is when we reflect on something, we realize, oh, actually, that does kind of irk me. Like, I paid for that ring.
Yeah.
You didn't even give me money for that ring. I think that she's right to have those feelings. I don't know necessarily how she would approach the conversation though, because I think you would have to do it carefully.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been giggling and goofing the whole time, but I think she's well within her right to not want that. I do not think it is a unreasonable ask. No. And you know what? I mean, she could be honest in that, like, hey, initially maybe it's just she was so happy over the proposal, it kind of didn't like really register, but now that she's kind of had like a few days to sit and process, it's that feeling is kind of like, I feel like that's a fair,
even approaching it from the kind of mindset of, hey, I was so excited to lay by the idea of marrying you that I didn't even think about this. And I still am so excited. I just, have been thinking about the ring a little bit now.
Yeah. We need more than $85 maybe.
87. I mean, the thing is, it was $0.
Yes.
More than $0.
Yes.
More than theft.
Yes.
That's the problem. There were no money spent.
But ladies and gentlemen, we have an update.
Woo!
So let's get into it. First off, I want to thank all of you for giving me the much needed dose of reality. Sorry for yelling. You guys were totally right. If I loved the ring before showing it to anybody, then why the heck should I care what other people think? And why would I let a materialistic snob get inside my head? I was definitely letting her get under my skin with her comments when I really should have just shut her out. I also love what a lot of you suggested about waiting until a year or more to replace the ring on one of our anniversaries. After all, we have been working so hard to save up our money for a place to live, and that is much more important to me than having a ring. Now, on to the drama that has unfolded since the first post. After reading a lot of y'all's comments and responses, I decided I was going to tune out my future sister-in-law's negativity and love my ring for all its beauty. I wasn't even going to bring it up to my fiance, especially since I didn't want to cause a rift between them and have him look at his sister in a negative light. However, he ended up coming to me about her comments. It turns out that she ended up texting him a couple of nights ago about my ring. From what he told me, she was asking him why he proposed too soon since he was going to wait longer originally, and why didn't he propose with the real stone, and if he was too cheap to spoil me with the real deal.
Dang, she's got things to say.
And it's like, do we need to say these things?
No, we don't need to say any of these things.
It's not our business.
Yeah.
Come on. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was one thing to say something to me woman to woman, and maybe we could just let it go from there. But oh boy, I had no idea she would go to her brother with such ugly comments. Needless to say that he was fuming at this point when retelling the story to me. Something to know about my fiance, he is the least confrontational person I know. He is always one to try and talk it out with someone before it can escalate into a fight. However, he is fiercely loyal and a protective man. Anytime anybody has ever said anything negative to me or about or our relationship, he has always been swift to defend me and us at any cost. So he texted back, why would you even say something like that? Since when did it matter to you whether or not I gave her a diamond? I don't recall you guys being best friends and her sharing her opinions with you, because if she had, you would know that she doesn't care about having a real stone or not. She's not like you, and she doesn't need anything flashy or expensive to know that I love her.
No, he's like, yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Her response to this text message, sister-in-law says,
wait, do the big mouth voice.
They hate the voice.
They hate it? I
don't know.
Just do it for the oh my gosh.
I'll do it. Oh my gosh. Oh. There's no need to be so dramatic. Oh. I'm just saying every girl deserves to know that she is valued in the eyes of her man. After all, I know that's what David, her boyfriend of 4 years, would do for me if he ever proposed. Well, guess what? He hasn't.
D for dump you.
Got you. Here's where maybe he was possibly the a-hole. He shot back, oh really? Because I seem to remember you complaining for the past year and a half about how he's never brought up the topic of marriage to you.
Ooh, burn.
Seems to me you're so wrapped up in my engagement because you know that David will never propose to you. You might want to think about that the next time you try to say something witchy to me or my fiance.
Dang! Sister's gonna need some aloe vera for that burn. Because that's a 3rd degree.
That is toasty skin.
Ouchie.
Sweet baby Jesus. I could have married him right there on the spot. I was so proud of him for putting her in her place. Well, what happened next was unexpected. Sister-in-law went silent. No responses, no comebacks. He didn't hear back from her, but the next day she called me. Ooh. And dang, did I not expect what she said. She apologized to me.
What? Shock.
Here we are. People are growing.
Sometimes people get read the rights and they go, wow, shouldn't have done that.
You're correct. She said after what my fiance said about her and David, she realized that she was being a witch and didn't mean it as a dig towards me. She said before I came over, she was trying to hint at David about now that her brother and I were engaged, that it would be their turn soon enough. Apparently, David didn't take the hint, which pissed her off. And when I came over, she saw my ring and got even more pissed. She apologized again, saying she was pushing her jealousy and hurt onto me, and she hoped I could forgive her.
Wow.
Forgive or not, Sophia?
Absolutely. I think if someone
Why?
comes to you with a genuine apology and says, you know, I realized that it was my own kind of insecurities about my relationship and I should have never done that, absolutely I would forgive. You know, because I mean, they made some nasty comments, but we read so many stories where people make nasty comments and they get called out on it and then they double down.
Yes.
The fact that, I mean, owning up to your mistakes and owning up to being wrong is so hard. Like, that is something that I struggle with. Like, it is hard to do. So
Yes.
if you have a person in your life who does that, absolutely, I think, you know, I would accept that apology.
By the way, if you want to forgive yourself for not listening to every single podcast episode we've ever published, I have one thing you need to do right now.
What is it?
Or I will be the most furious human that has ever been birthed on this earth. on this rock.
Furiosa.
Go to Spotify, Apple, or iHeart, search OK Story Time, and listen to over 2,000 episodes of our podcast. But Sophia, right before we get into this ending of the story, I mean, kind of cute, kind of good so far, right?
Wrong, John.
Kind of great.
Wrong.
Tell me.
I think everyone in the freaking Reddit comments and also her husband's like lashing out at, or her fiance's lashing out at her, at his sister has made OP forget what the real problem is here.
You're so right.
He stole a ring.
Dude, we completely forgot about
She's
that.
being gaslit into thinking that she was wrong for having like doubts about that. This is crazy.
So Opie says, I told her I'd absolutely forgive her and that I was sorry that David was such a clueless dummy. Lol. Dang, David catching strays. I also suggested she sit down with David and have a real conversation about their future and when/if he thought he would propose to her. She agreed, apologized one more time, and then we said goodbye. So there you have it. We worked it out with sister-in-law. I'm back to loving my ring for all its beauty.
She's gaslit herself. I don't believe you.
And I have a fiance, no longer a boyfriend, whom I adore and who adores me as well. Maybe we'll upgrade my ring in the future, but I mean, who knows?
Okay.
I mean, who knows? Maybe
She's like, maybe in the future he'll buy me a ring. I don't know. I don't care.
He'll go to Temu and put an order in. All that matters is that we love each other.
That's true.
And we are happy.
This is true. But are you happy?
Are you?
My mother is furious that I got engaged. She thinks I'm too young. You can't do it. You're too little. She did it while pinching your cheeks. You're too young. That'd be great. You're too young to get married. My mother and I have always had a very up and down relationship. We are either best friends or screaming at each other. But over the past few years, she's quit work and I've gotten my mental health under control. So we've been best friends 90% of the time.
Wow.
By the way, this comes from user Judiciary Giraffe. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So my mother has always been very against getting married young. She is completely convinced that you will not last if you get married young, that you change too much in your 20s and it's without fail a terrible idea, blah, 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 blah. I disagree with her assessment and have many friends that have gotten married in their 20s and are very happy. She dismisses all those cases and instead tells me a few of her own anecdotes, which apparently should be taken as fact. I generally just rolled my eyes at this point and moved on, as this isn't something I really felt the need to get worked up about. Mom informed me when I was 20 and first met my significant other that I wasn't allowed to get engaged until I was 26. I jokingly haggled her down from 30 and married until I'm 28. She also enforced a strict rule that as soon as I move in with or get engaged to or just generally pair off semi-permanently with someone, that I was 100% cut off financially. This included school fees. My parents are quite wealthy and were paying my tuition at the time, although I paid my own living expenses. So I met my fiance, who I'm going to call John, in my third year of my undergraduate degree. I was going to school on the east coast of Canada, and my parents live in the west. We fell for each other instantly and began dating. We were talking about being together long-term after a few months, much to my shock and surprise. Due to Mom's no financial help if you move in together rule, when I decided to go to law school, John and I put off living together for a few years so that I could get help with my law school tuition. We were planning on spending our lives together anyway. Getting engaged could wait a few years if it meant we wouldn't have to carry law school debt around for the rest of our lives. That being said, we would spend most nights together at one apartment or the other, usually staking out at my apartment so I didn't have to carry all my law textbooks around. Mom was well aware of this, and other than a couple of snarky comments about not having fun with dating around and being with someone below the pay grade she would expect, John is in the Army, and as I mentioned, I grew up quite wealthy. Other than this, she was generally fine with it. I graduated from law school this past spring and began articling almost immediately. I also began the process of moving into John's apartment, although my lease didn't expire until the end of August. So I'm still keeping my apartment for when he's on exercise because it's closer to my work and there was no point in rushing the horror that is moving. John and I took a trip out west to celebrate my dad's 65th birthday. Because it's quite a long trip, we turned it into a mini holiday, spending a lot of time in the mountains, which I miss dearly living out east. During this holiday, at the top of a favorite hike, John proposed. Ew, you're so cutie. That's so cute. Oh, that's cute.
I am worried about the bag, though.
About his bag?
No, about her bag.
Her bag? She don't got no bag?
Well, her parents are like, we will cover you until you get married.
Yeah, but then she still got the bag. I guarantee you there's a trust fund in this situation.
Somewhere. She'll have to wait for her.
She's just not getting like monthly payments anymore.
Yeah.
She's still got assets on deck.
But monthly payments as a youngling helps a lot.
Sure, but like, come on. Honestly, if you have a family of your own, like, I don't think you should be getting paid monthly payments.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not, but I'm just saying in this particular situation, it'd be nice.
Ooh, now I'm thinking on your train of thought here.
Yep, you know exactly.
I said all aboard. I just hopped on.
What's the next thing we need to do after being proposed? This is the only way I would be okay with doing this.
What, the prenup?
No. The other thing you try to chokehold me to do.
Oh, the secret wedding. No way. I would have never thought you were going to.
Yeah, I'm on board.
Out here and Chris in the secret wedding.
Yeah, on this one, oh yeah.
It was like a fairy tale. It was exactly as I would have wanted it in an ideal world. We were so happy and made our way back to town to celebrate with my parents. When we got home and announced the news, Dad burst into happy tears and came to hug us both. Okay. Mom went stone cold, gave us the most awkward, stilted hugs of all time, and barely spoke for the rest of the evening. All she would say as Dad was congratulating us was that she hoped it worked out. I was rushed. It took all of my self-control not to burst into tears, and all of John's not to go off on her. That crazy awkward night was last Friday, and we were due to leave first thing Sunday morning. I had a good cry that night, and John and I decided that maybe if we can get her excited about individual aspects of the wedding, she'll accept that her baby girl is old enough to get married, and maybe being engaged at 24 is not the end of the world. So Saturday night, Dad decides he wants to take us all out to this beautiful dinner to celebrate. He picks a place Mom adores on purpose, manages to get us in last minute by some miracle, and orders champagne, everything. After the initial toast, we don't talk about the engagement much because although Mom is less outright angry, she still refuses input, aside from one word when Dad asks her a direct question. When dessert comes, the waiter asks about when the wedding will be, so the topic comes up again. When he leaves, I suggest that my mom and her sister come out east at some point to go wedding dress shopping. That's a moment every mom waits for, right? Wrong. She mutters something about, oh, something else I'll have to pay for. Which my dad responds with, oh, come on, OP's mom.
Yeah, whose money is this? I know as a couple, you guys both have money and it's both of your money. And I agree with that. And this is really a wrong question now that I'm thinking about it. Whose money was it?
Well, I just think regardless of that, it's just weird that you're like, all right, once you get married, you're cut off. And now at the very finish line, you're like, great, one more thing. It's like, it's the wedding dress.
Yeah.
And then after that, literally nothing ever again. You're going to complain about that? Feels weird. It feels weird.
Wow. So everyone's saying 24 is a great age to get engaged to. Can everyone clip that? Thank you.
Stop it.
I'm not for me.
Riley's building his agenda.
I don't want to get engaged.
I had no plans to ask for money for the wedding. Zero. None. Nada. I'm making good money articling. And John has been saving for years. We want a small wedding close to home at a friend's property outside of town. Mom goes on a tirade about how I've always just taken advantage of her financial generosity, and now that it was convenient, I was breaking her trust by getting engaged this young when I knew she was against it, and so on and so forth. She stormed into the bathroom, and I went to go cry outside. It was a disaster. Dad suggested John and I take a cab home, and we did, and went straight to my room. We left Sunday morning with a stilted hug, and I haven't talked to Mom since. From what Dad tells me, she's still refusing to admit she was wrong. Dad also won't push back too much. Although he disagrees with her, he doesn't want to destroy his marriage, and I didn't expect him to. Dad has also dismissed all indications that I work out a payment plan to pay them back for my law school tuition, saying it was important to them that they invest in my education. I am heartbroken. I am very close to my mom, and I want her desperately as an integral part of my wedding. At the same time, I am a self-supporting adult. John and I know this is what we want, and this wedding is going forward next autumn regardless of her judgment. Honestly, we feel we have put off enough for my mother, and this is absurd. I just don't know how to convince her that this is not going to end in disaster. I really want her to be a part of this. Help!
I'm all for some people have their own way of thinking, and you just gotta let them live that way, and they're probably gonna die that way. Can't change them.
Yeah, it's like
sad. It's hard.
How do I change someone? It's a question in and of itself. The change has to come from within someone. So it's like if anyone's seen the movie Inception, it's like, how do I plant that little seed inside someone's brain that makes them want to change?
Yeah.
And I think if you want to get your mom on board here, then it needs to be, instead of being about like what you want from her, just tell her like where you're actually at with this guy and that you just want her to be there.
Yeah.
As your mom, not someone who's like disappointed in you.
Agreed.
There's an edit. Thank you all so much for your thoughts. This is definitely a situation that requires time. I will most likely talk to Mom sometime this weekend since I need to ask Dad about something. And if I call the house, we'll probably end up talking. I'll let you guys know about any developments. John would also like to give his thanks since we've been reading your responses together and it's helped him see the situation rationally as well. And we're at the update, folks. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. Update. Thank you all for your advice. It was so useful to A, see I wasn't crazy, B, understand my mother's possible motivations, and C, have some general consensus to be patient. So Mom called a couple times over the past couple weeks to ask about work, update me on the family, whatever. I didn't bring up the wedding. I figured she could bring it up when she got curious enough to apologize. Last night, I called Mom to ask her about one of her recipes, and she out of nowhere asked if we'd set a date for the wedding yet. I told her not exactly, but we were planning on early October 2016. She then asked if we wanted it west or east, and I told her east, because John's family doesn't have the money to go out west. There was a pause that seemed like an eternity before she finally said, "I'm sorry I've been so classless, judiciary giraffe. This just really wasn't what I expected for you." I asked her what she was expecting, trying not to sound as snarky as I felt. And she went into this thing about how she thought I should focus on my career and then marry someone with similar goals and a similar background. I would like to take this time to congratulate myself for not losing my mind at her over the phone at this point. I told her I was focusing on my career. No one has been more supportive than John, and I don't have to worry about dating. John and I have very similar life goals. We both want to be working parents, have 2 kids, but not for another 5 years or so, etc., etc. And then I pointed out that if everyone was as classist as she was being, my wealthy father never would have married someone from a blue-collar family like her, even if she ended up in a professional career. Oh my God! Mom's blue collar being like, I thought you'd be more like me and marry a man for his money.
Here, taste this. Your own medicine.
Oh my God. Wow. I was honestly expecting a massive backlash for that comment, but she just went quiet. I told her, and I remember this verbatim, quote, "I love you, Mom, and I know you love me, so I need you to love John too. This may not be what you would have done, but I'm not you, and I am happy. John is a fantastic man." She burst into tears. We talked for about an hour. She apologized to me at my insistence and should be calling tonight to apologize to John as well. He was out last night.
What?
Here we go. She's done the 180. I feel like it was kind of the same as similar to my advice, but it definitely was like way more like, I need you to change your behavior.
This is my need.
Like it was like, yeah, I love this guy. I love you. I know you love me. I need you to love this guy as well because he's great.
Yeah, and he's about to be your son-in-law.
Yeah.
That's coming for Christmas
Boom.
and Canadian Thanksgiving if they celebrate that.
Yes. Yes. She apologized to me and at my insistence should be calling tonight to apologize to John as well. Apparently, part of the reason she was so upset was that she thought if she had the no money if you move in together or get engaged rule, we would break up before I finished law school. I got a little irritated at this. Why would you want me to break up with someone that makes me happy? But if she honestly thought he was a fling and didn't want me marrying someone that was going to end up with inevitable divorce, not worth the argument. I told her as long as she could respect John now, it didn't matter what she did. But if she didn't respect our marriage, she would be out of the wedding planning and possibly our future life. And she agreed with the sentiment. And by the way, you should agree with the sentiment that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search what, Riley?
Okay, story time.
The name of this show? Really?
That's all you got to do.
And then you will find over 2,000 episodes worth of stories.
Enough to make the Grinch happy.
And he's a tough customer. We have a little bit more story left. Riley, do you have any closing thoughts here?
I'm glad this mom's seeing through the fog.
Yeah, and I'm just going to recycle back to that one point I made, which is when you want people to change, you can't, it kind of has to be a little soft. I don't know. Look, not every situation is like a blanket one, right? But it's like someone who's that stubborn about something so like fundamental where it's like, that guy's not good enough for you. Like, all right, well, I actually love you and I know you love me. And since I, the one you love that guy, maybe it would be nice if you cared about that as well.
Exactly.
Let's finish this story. I'm wary, super wary, but I'm also going to give her the benefit of the doubt for now. I want her to be a part of this, but I'm also not going to be surprised if her classist tendencies are a running issue that will have to be addressed. So I'm keeping her at an arm's length. John is less optimistic. I suppose I would be too if my mother-in-law basically said I wasn't good enough for her child, but he is happy that I'm happy. I'm declining any offer of money from her from now on. If I know her, there will be one because that's her favorite method of control, although both parents have insisted that I not pay them back for law school. So I won't be.
All right.
And there's another very, very tiny little micro update before we finish. She called John tonight. It was kind of awkward, but she apologized. So that's what matters. Their relationship will warm up over time, I'm sure. Thank you all for your kind words.
Happy ending?
And that is the end of that story, folks. And I feel like Wow.
Pretty good. I stopped wearing my engagement ring. My fiance is not happy about it.
Yeah, well, are you still engaged?
I'm 27 female and I am on the autistic spectrum. I'm on the high-functioning side of things, and after dealing with numerous trial and errors throughout my whole life, I thought I finally had a handle on this whole social cue thing and had finally mastered understanding people. This recent turn of events has making me think I'm not as good as I pride myself to be, and that I still have a very long ways to go. I think I accidentally hurt the person who means the most to me in the world, and I'm turning to Reddit for advice and a neutral third-party perspective. Perfect place to come.
Sweetie pie.
By the way, this comes from Beneficial Goose 89, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So my fiance, let's call him Ethan, 26, is the love of my life and my best friend. I want nothing more than to spend the rest of my life with him. We've been dating for almost 5 years when he proposed to me last month. I can easily say that this was the happiest moment of my life. I have had several people in the past tell me I will never find someone who will love me because no man wants an autistic wife. And even though I knew people with autism can have stable relationships, I just never thought I would have one. Considering I don't like being touched or hugged, even by my own parents, it made sense that I would hate something like spicy sleep even more. That changed when I realized I wanted to spend the rest of my life with Ethan and wanted things like holding hands and hugging or receive a light kiss on the cheek. These things which I thought I were disgusting and still do with other people now made me giddy and are enjoyable, and I thought that having a husband and a family was suddenly a possibility in my future. I never wore jewelry growing up because of my religious upbringing and deeply despise most engagement rings that are highly decorative or have gemstones. My fiance knows this and picked out a plain engagement ring that has a silver and flat with no textures, so I wouldn't have trouble with it. I know most women would find the minimalist to be quite offensive, but I can't express how much this simple little ring means to me. I love it so much, and I am just so happy and excited about this whole thing that I can't stop talking about it to my friends and family. I already have a thought and a solution, but I have to do it later because it's too far in advance. The problem started because although I love the ring, I found out that getting used to wearing a ring when I have never worn jewelry in my life is very difficult. The only thing I wear that is remotely similar to jewelry is my medication alert bracelet, which took me months to get used to wearing. I stim whenever I'm excited or stressed, and I would fiddle with the ring non-stop while it was on my finger until it was badly bruised. I ended up wearing the ring on a necklace around my neck that tucks into my shirt, so I'll always have it with me and slip my finger on it for several minutes throughout the day when I am alone and not exposed to things that will trigger me to start stimming while I'm desensitizing me to wearing it. This has always been my tactic for how I transition myself into new things. I like this. Like,
it's perfect.
Thing. Yeah.
It's like the ring is like right close to your heart too. It's like it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's like, it's bruising you though? That's weird.
Yeah.
I've never been bruised by a ring. I'm wondering.
Well, she's probably like fidgeting with it too much that it does.
I'll fidget with these moves all the time. She must be doing it in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't imagine it, but it does suck.
In all the excitement, I apparently hadn't noticed that my new fiance had become more reserved than usual. A mutual friend actually had pointed this out to me because in my mind, it shouldn't have been a reason for him to be despondent when this was supposed to be the happiest time of our lives. I asked him about it and he eventually admitted his disappointment that I wasn't wearing my engagement ring. I told him I've never worn a ring before and it just takes time to get used to. He knows about my sensitivity and basically just nodded his head and we moved on. But he still seems distant, and although he hasn't had anything to say to me, I still think he's upset that I'm not wearing the ring. I've tried wearing the ring around him to try to appease him, and I don't think it is helping. I don't know if he thinks that I am ashamed of the ring or of him, or what he possibly could be thinking. I don't know where I went wrong, and I'm afraid that he may be rethinking committing himself to me. I'm afraid of losing the love of my life. He's the only person I want to be with, and losing him would devastate me. It hurts enough just knowing that I hurt him without knowing what I can do to fix it. I want to know if I'm missing something here, or how to explain to him that he is the best thing that has ever happened to me. And once I get used to being able to wear the ring, that I am never going to take it off. Any advice would be much appreciated. Yeah.
Advice for this?
Yeah.
I would say, especially, with autism, it's not just like having a conversation is not necessarily the most simple or easy to accomplish task, but I feel like that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Show them the finger, show them the bruise. Be like, look, I'm just wearing it. I mess with it. I love you. Like, It's on next to my heart all day. I'm not ashamed of you.
Yeah,
I want to show you off to the whole town. I'd give you a parade. If you feel like it's going to be really hard for you to say it in person, try writing it out. Like write him a letter.
Obviously, talk to your partner because there's ways you can work around this. You know, people in the comments said you can get a tattoo for like getting a ring or, you know, to symbolize your love. It doesn't have to be through the ring. You can do other things.
Yeah, it's something that's special to you guys. If I was in a situation like this, I think it'd be really sweet that she has it around her neck and she puts it on a couple times a day when she thinks of me. I love that you're with someone that has autism or like a neurodivergency. I think you should expect this or like have a conversation about this.
Yeah.
You know, and be okay with it. So think of some creative solutions that would be beneficial to both of you. Update. Thank you all for your comments. I really appreciate all you taking the time to share your thoughts. I spent the better part of an hour just reading all of them. I was already planning on speaking with my fiance when I made this post. I mostly was just looking for any extra advice and hopefully see where he's coming from. To clear some things up, some people suggested that either he is or he suspects me of cheating on him, and I doubt that is the case. For religious reasons, both of us are virgins until and will stay that way until after we get married. I know this may seem like a red flag for some people, not me, but we are both raised with the belief that spicy sleep is something very special and intimate that you share with your husband or wife. In other words, it's very precious to us and we want to only share it with each other. Beautiful.
Hey, fair enough. You're allowed to make that decision.
Love that for you guys. My worries stem more from the fact that I'm going to mess this up somehow. Whenever things seem to go right or I think that everything is fine, I get blindsided. I've lost many friends because I either didn't pick up on certain signals or because I didn't respond like I should have. It has led a lot of blame and self-loathing towards myself and on my autism, and this is something I'm still working on. I'm mostly afraid that the life I never thought I would ever have will be taken from me before it even starts. To experience all these feelings and dreams of starting a life with the person I love, only to mess it up because I'm bad at communicating my thoughts and perceiving other people's feelings is very terrifying thought to me. To those who suggested silicone rings, thank you so much for this advice. I did not know those things existed, and I definitely will be looking into it as an option. I want to say that I am okay with wearing a metal ring. It will just take me some time to get used to it. It's the same thing when I had to start wearing bras and my medical alert bracelet. Sometimes I really want to wear the ring he picked out for me. Thank you all for the people who suggested I show him this post. It may not seem like it, but it is very difficult for me to communicate my thoughts verbally, and I am much better at sharing my thoughts in written form. Definitely go with the letter.
Yeah. Yeah. It's common in, among the neurodivergent community. It's like, I mean, even for me, it's like if I don't write stuff down like on a daily basis, I completely lose track of what I think.
Yeah, I plan on talking to him tonight, so I'll keep you all updated. Oh, update 2. Sorry for the late update. I had to go to the ER yesterday. Everything is fine now. Oh my gosh, but I apologize in advance if this post sounds a little weak and or jumbled as I'm still recovering. So Ethan and I finally had our talk, and it went better than I could have hoped for.
Okay, good.
I told him the thoughts that I've been having for the past few days, and he finally told me why he seemed so withdrawal. Long story short, it turns out his friends were actually the problem. They apparently weren't convinced that a girl could be so excited over a plain silver ring as an engagement ring. Told Ethan that I was probably faking my excitement and backed up their claims by the fact that I wasn't wearing my rings on their fingers as evidence. They were apparently getting on his case about the fact that he didn't buy the most expensive ring he could afford. That I was thinking that he was cheap.
He's got that slimy Grima Wormtongue counsel in his ear. He's saying, your girlfriend doesn't like your ring. She doesn't want you. And to give you that Lord of the Rings lore, right?
I know. They kept on saying how I'm supposed to be the most important person to him and that I deserve the best from him and other comments like that. I ended up telling him how much I love the ring because it's the one thing he ultimately chose with the intent on proposing we spend the rest of our lives together with. I told him I could care less how much it cost, only that he was the one who got it for me. I told him I wanted to wear the ring. It's just taking me some time to get used to it. And because I'm still very excited about it, I keep bruising my finger by fiddling with it. By everyone's suggestions in the comments, I showed him this post, and he found it to be the funniest thing in the world. Even now, out of nowhere, he'll just start chuckling and say, Ethan, really? Out of all the names, you went with Ethan. When we were alone, sometimes he'll only respond if I call him Ethan. So I now have the feeling that the joke is never going to pass away until do us part. And by the way, don't let do us apart. All you got to do is go to your favorite podcast platform, press play, and you may rest in peace for the rest of your life. by how many days now?
59.
59?
59. We're 10 days away from the funny number.
Holy cow. Guys, you can rest in peace for 59 days straight after you press play. And yeah, we got a little bit more left, but it's kind of crazy how she was thinking this over here. He was thinking this over here. And what brought them here? What all did they have to do?
Communication.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow. And I'm very proud of OP because I know how difficult this is for her to communicate with her partner. That just shows the hardest thing is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes whenever you are, come up to an obstacle, you don't know what to do. What's the hardest thing? That's the thing you got to do. We spent the rest of the night reading through the comments and giggling at what some of you said. I'm sorry if the end result didn't live up to your expectations. It didn't mine. But I'm just glad things turned out all right. Thank you all for the comments and suggestions. They really helped in giving me the confidence I need to initiate the conversation. We are both introverted and usually the suffer in silence type. So sometimes it's hard for either of us to start talking about our feelings. It can lead to some rather hilarious awkward conversations, and this was one no different. We're talking about having the wedding in the spring or fall of 2022. All right, and they're married, and hopefully this was a good step for them to hey, we're going to be dealing with this kind of stuff during our marriage. And this was a practice run.
Yeah.
But guys, that is the end of that story.
But this is a wrap. If you love us, please make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow!